To another episode of the Fantasy Addicts podcast. We are streaming live on Twitch.
We'll do it live.
We're going to do it live. Then we'll throw it up on the YouTubes.
Oh, yeah. Monday night, YouTube night.
All right. So we are in the middle of the Buccaneers playing the New York Giants.
Oh, yeah.
Who you got, Nick?
Oh, man. I got Rojo scoring the first tonight. We got a little wager on
All
that.
right. I'll pick the Buccaneers to win.
Yeah, I'm taking the Buccaneers to win as well.
Hey, bold.
Is that bold?
Right now, the Buccaneers up 3-0 on the Giants.
3-0.
And
I'm really hearing that phantom power tonight.
Yeah, we added a little bit of phantom power in the mic there. So
power's kicking in. So
for your earbuds there.
Yeah, we may have to turn us down tonight because it's so loud.
Oh, you can't turn us down.
That's true. What a week in fantasy football we had.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah. Some news today, Jimmy Garoppolo and George Kittle. No bueno.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Did you say Jimmy Garoppolo?
Ooh, are we going there?
I don't think I'm dropping Kittle,
Pocket pull with the injury
Kittle.
prone. Welcome in.
They're injury prone.
In. I was just securing our next emote, so I think it should be done within the next week.
Okay, you heard it here first.
And hopefully we'll get it back at least after the bye.
Do you want to have two emotions?
Two emotions. Emotes?
Disappointed and excited. Trash time and injury prone.
Yeah. No, we'll have to expand our selection here as we go.
All right. So I'm wearing a collared shirt to kick it up a notch, the classy level. I'll tell you my story.
With the shirt underneath, too.
So I went to work today. I was like, all right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go do my civic duty. I'm going to vote after work. I'm like, this won't take that long. I've done it in the past. It takes about 15 minutes. I go, wait in line, 2.5 hours in the cold, just standing there.
No.
Finally get my vote in, rush home, pounded a sandwich, didn't have time to change, fly over here for the podcast. I said, I can't let Pocket down. This man's waiting for us to go live on Monday night.
He's looking for it.
We'll do it live.
So we're here for you.
Yep.
I did jump in the Discord. So for those of you, if you're new, if you don't know, we got the Discord going.
Indeed.
You can jump in there. Nick, tell them about, let's say somebody's watching on YouTube. How could they navigate their way to the Discord if they find us on YouTube or through the podcast?
You're going to have to find our stream and then maybe find the code that I post. Otherwise, you're just going to have to come to us live and ask for it, and we'll get it to you.
All right. So if you're finding us on those other platforms and you want to join the Discord, come check us out on Twitch.
Sunday afternoons, Monday night.
Streaming during the early games on Sunday and Monday Night Football.
Probably cool. My head was injury prone all day, even though I passed out during halftime last night.
Well, drink some water and watch that Monday Night Football.
Yep, absolutely.
Or get a little hair of the dog. Fight fire with fire.
You didn't really miss anything in the second half of that game, so don't feel too bad. Alrighty.
But
Looks
we do.
The Giants stalled out. They are punting it back to the Bucs. So who do you have going tonight? I have Evans and Gronk going. So
I do have Rojo in Dynasty.
Okay.
Picked him up off waivers 1 year, and have just been waiting for them to stop hating him and let him be what he can be. It happened 1 week when Fournette was gone, but now Fournette's back.
They still hate him.
Speak of the ruiner of Rojo, I did go ahead and grab Fournette off of the waivers, and I'm throwing him in one in the flex.
I don't know about that call.
Yeah, it's a little iffy, but he's actually put up pretty decent numbers. He's I heard them compared to a poor man's Chubb and Hunt. And if you give it a couple more weeks, they'll be the better version of Chubb and Hunt with the Browns just continuing to blow it.
Yeah, they like to throw the ball, though. And there's a gentleman named Antonio Brown showing up to town
so a little
in a couple
bit of
weeks.
Let's see. He hasn't gotten kicked off for something stupid yet?
Not yet. I think Tom Brady just has him on the couch and just isn't letting him
I got to stop you before we keep going. Because we were talking about the Browns, I got this for him.
That team sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the
back to bad, right?
Yeah, not so good.
Man,
there were some weather issues.
They just can't put it together. I thought maybe they'd actually, without OBJ, maybe kind of get some other guys involved, get a little more continuity, get flowing, get Baker not so nervous. But
again, there was weather. We'll blanket it with the weather.
Weather's everywhere, man.
I know
it's all around us.
But the Raiders weren't lighting it up either.
Do you like weather?
They did not.
Do you know what that quote is from?
I don't.
That is from 21 Jump Street. It is one of my favorite quotes.
Do you like weather?
Do you like weather?
Interesting. Alrighty. What about some boomers this week that we weren't expecting? Jordan Wilkins having himself an afternoon.
Jordan Wilkins. Yeah.
No, not interested.
Interesting, worth pointing out, worth highlighting, but
He's on the
running back for the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, 20 carries, 89 yards, a touchdown, a 2-point conversion. Not
what
interested at all.
concerns me is if you look at his numbers leading up into this game, it was just a weird, like a guy caught fire. They went with the hot hand. You are a Jonathan Taylor owner in Dynasty. Let's talk about him in more of a redraft kind of through that lens.
Well, I think let's throw CEH in here too because he didn't do a whole lot.
You want to talk about Jonathan or do you want to talk about CEH? I'll take CEH.
Okay.
Right.
JT, you're confused as an owner right now because it's a great offensive line. A really good running back should be able to produce behind the line, and it just hasn't been working out. They've been getting him a lot of touches. I'm not in full panic yet, but I'm not far away.
Jonathan Taylor.
I think you just chalk it up as a bad game and hope it's all forgotten by next week.
So as I was standing in line for 2.5 hours waiting to vote, I was listening to podcasts, and I got through the ones I hadn't heard for the week, and I went back and was listening to one that I hadn't finished before, and it was the footballers talking about Jonathan Taylor, and they were just calling for this. This is the breakout week. This is when all of your hopes and dreams come true for Jonathan Taylor, and it didn't come to fruition, man. This was a team that they were playing against a team that wasn't good against the run. It was pointed out in another podcast I was listening to is that they would give them different looks when they had Taylor in. They would load up the box a little bit more anticipating the run. So maybe his he can catch a little bit, but he doesn't have great hands.
But they've been giving him 3 to 4 targets a game still.
But I don't know I think that other teams were catching on and they were selling out to stop the run against him. He's got better hands than like a Rojo or a Jordan Howard, but you'd almost tell me if you feel this is a fair comp. I would put him in that Leonard Fournette type of hands. Like he can catch the ball, they can throw it to him, but he's not great, not super smooth.
No, I think he's pretty.
Speaking of Ronald Jones, catching the ball right there.
Or
does he fumble?
Did he?
Hope he doesn't. But let's see.
And
He's
it
got it.
immediately comes out of his hands.
I hate to say it because Rojo's my guy, but I think he did catch that and he was shifting the ball to his other hand.
All right, let's go to
so we won't see him again because Bruce Arians hates him and just waits for him to do something wrong to sit him for the whole game. So at least my Leonard Fournette share is going to pay off. I am going against Rojo in the league, so if he had to have a game where he wasn't great, today's a good one.
Fair enough. Okay, let's talk about CEH and then we'll get back to
all right, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So the only running back taken in the first round of the NFL draft by the Kansas City Chiefs, a high-powered offense. When it happened, I honestly I probably would have taken him if I had the spot in the draft because everybody was so high on him, but I had some red flags. One is his size. He's a little guy. I personally never liked the little running backs. I know there have been some guys that have had success. But like Tariq Cohen, I think I've got such a hatred for him playing for the Bears. Not as a man, but just as a football player.
I don't like little people.
I just want my running back to be a big guy who can smash people. I want a Derrick Henry. I don't want a CEH.
That's fine.
And just from playing sports, anytime I ever played against someone who was much larger than me, it was way harder than playing against someone much smaller than me. Every sport I've ever played. Basketball, wrestling, football. It's hard to beat somebody who's gigantic. It's hard to tackle a guy who's big. But again, I get it. He's shifty. A big concern with CEH so far this season I'd be worried about is just that they haven't used him in the passing game as much as I hoped. Having been a Damian Williams owner.
But, I mean, the passing attack really hasn't been that productive on the season from the Kansas City Chiefs in general. Unless you're really a Kelsey owner, Hill's been good, but otherwise it's been not great. Mahomes owners aren't super happy.
He had a good week this week.
Very good week this week.
Honestly, they've been winning games. They have one loss, 2 losses?
I think they have 2 losses.
I know they have at least one, but they've been winning games. They haven't need to air it out quite as much. Their defense has been better this year than in previous years. I think that CH, the lack of I just think he needs more passing work, more receptions to really be, a stud you can start all the time.
Okay.
And he's not getting those goal line carries. He kind of, again, I've said it before, but he's reminiscent of Devin Singletary where just has difficulty punching it in. They don't seem to trust him in the red zone. Lev Bell, so here's a bright spot for CEH. Lev Bell came in the revenge game against the Jets and didn't have a great game. Didn't rush for, again, he was averaging like 1 or 2 yards a carry. He did have a couple
What's
receptions.
going on? Is Uzi Burt watching this game tonight?
Yeah, but overall, CEH, I'm worried. I'm not. I don't know. Here's the thing about the running backs is there just aren't a lot of great options right now.
Yeah,
If
no,
could
you still have to start them, but you're less thrilled than you were.
I think in
last week
Dynasty,
or
I might
2
be
weeks
trying
ago.
to trade Clyde, especially
trade
if he
him
has
away?
a big game. Yeah, you know,
Yeah, I could see waiting for a big game and then getting rid of him.
there are a lot of things that could happen.
think
Damian,
he's still a
again,
hold.
I know you hate Damian Williams. You think he's nothing, but he
pocket with the
he
call
fit
early.
into the
Deion Lewis with the touchdown.
he fit into the role very well.
NIU, Andy Reid only uses a running back when he needs to. That's true. I mean, it's all the way back to the
That is very true.
yeah. No, I think it's just the Kansas City Chiefs in general. Even when Jamal Charles was there, the most elite running back in the league goes for 200 yards, and the next week he gets like 6 touches. It's how do you phase out that like skilled of a player out of the offense? But yeah, it's just out of the
It
game
just
plan.
hasn't fit like a glove like some people predicted it would.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is the goal line. And yeah, it's just they've got better goal line weapons too. Like Travis Kelce is such a good red zone target, and he's been showing up. He's been producing.
Yeah, I said you're really happy if it's.
But yeah,
if you
I
have
don't
him on
know.
your
I
team.
don't know what Damian Williams' plans are if he's going to come back, if he's going to be with the team. But he fit that role very well. Like even though people said he was just a guy, watch his tape, watch his
Down
playoffs, watch the
67
Super
in
Bowl.
fantasy, having a blast. Yeah, sometimes you just have
hey,
to.
there's still time.
Look to next week. There's
Wait,
still
do
time.
you have Gronk? Because Nick and I are both rooting for Gronk tonight.
Yeah, we need
Big
some
Gronk
points.
game.
But if we're talking about end zone targets or threats, Dalvin Cook, 30 rushing attempts for 163 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 receptions for 63 yards, and another touchdown.
Pretty good.
Man, anybody
Dalvin-
here that had Dalvin and lost, that would be pretty hard to do.
Yeah, no, that is that's a phenomenal game. That's a phenomenal running back game. Is that the best running back performance of the year, or would you put Derrick Henry's one giant game? You know, they're right there though.
This is probably taking the
impressive.
cake with 4 touchdowns. Yeah.
Well, now
I'll probably give it to him.
was he the again? Who was the second best running back on the week?
Second best would have been, man, we got to go down a ways.
And how close was it? I'm just curious.
Not very.
So that's, I think, the takeaway.
Kamara with 9 catches for 96 yards and then 12
Okay.
carries for 67.
So in the format we're looking at, Kamara had 25 points, and how many did Dalvin have?
55.
So that's the takeaway. Is like it's just you can't find running backs.
Screw Dalvin. Yep.
It's hard to find running backs now that are putting up over 25 points a game. That's why I'm so eager for Christian McCaffrey to come back and just put on his cape and save my dynasty season. But yeah, I think that the running back landscape, I was listening to a lot of shows and they're like, oh, I don't know, I'm worried about Zeke. Oh, I don't know, I'm worried about CH. Oh, I don't know, I'm worried about Jonathan Taylor. Well, who do you try to trade for? I don't know. Nobody else is any good.
These guys are bad too.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, I'd trade him. And like, well, then they sat down and they're like, well, who would you trade him for?
Oh, no.
No, yeah, there's Josh Jacobs you feel pretty good about if you got, but he's still not,
Yeah, Pocket saying Gio. Gio did have a good day. 15 carries for 62 yards, a touchdown, and then 3 catches for 16 yards.
And you were
another
talking about
touchdown.
thinking that perhaps Gio was
He's fine for
that Joe Mixon
for
might be out a
fantasy.
little longer than people were realizing.
Yeah, and again, he's still not practicing.
All right.
I'm really hoping Kenny isn't out long. So are we. I've got him in 2 leagues, and we have him in our co-managed league. So it'd be nice if he could come back sooner than later.
Yeah, Kenny Galladay, goose egg because of an injury. So
That hurt.
we
That
talked
hurt.
about Nick and I went against each other in our redraft league. Nick pulled out the win. I was ahead. Kenny G hurt him, but then he hit me with the DK Metcalf, Russell Wilson stack.
Yeah.
And both guys putting up, what did they each have, like 38 points?
It was a lot.
It was devastating
lot.
to my game.
Yeah. No, that sealed that one.
So
as well.
congratulations, sir. Well played.
For the love of God, cherish it.
I'm going to get you next time.
All right,
But yeah.
1-0 so far in the heads up during the podcast. So let's talk about Justin Herbert. And we keep touching on him. I know we have this whole thing from Hard Knocks, but he looks really good. I just don't want to give it up.
And I think what's impressive about him again is just the way he makes long passes look so effortless. His arm talent is elite, and yet the team as a whole, they just losing finds a way, right?
Yeah, I'm just looking in Dynasty though. I'm ready to trade a lot for Justin Herbert in Dynasty. Don't tell Doug.
Go for it, man. No, if Doug has him, don't even. Oh, you can't get anybody away from Doug.
That's the worst. I need Herbert to have either the worst career or the worst series of events this season for him to get dropped.
Well, a good point about that game is that the belief is that Justin Jackson took over that backfield. I would tend to agree. That is until Eckler comes back. So Eckler, I'm hoping he can get back in week 10. I did trade for him in our redraft league. So Eckler's a guy that if people are getting frustrated holding him on the bench, you might be able to sneak away from somebody if you pay up for him.
Yeah, no, I've seen him traded. He's probably the most traded running back over the last week.
I traded Juju for him, and I feel good.
Yeah, no, I think he'll be fine. Just waiting for him to get healthy. Javon Wims suspended 2 games for the helmet punch yesterday. Yeah, I understand it.
So I actually read up on the helmet punch a little bit, and it sounds like the guy that Wims punched had knocked his mouth guard out of his mouth or something, and the mouth guard was on the field for a while. So they get off the field. Wims apparently sat through a whole series just stewing on the bench before he came back in to retaliate. 11 minutes, I think it said later. I can't imagine being mad for 11 minutes straight. I cool down real fast. I'll get mad for a second, maybe in the heat of the moment throw a punch, but 11 minutes you sat there just thinking about it, and just the best you came up with was you punched him in the helmet, probably hurt your hand more than him. He got suspended 2 games. Wims is an idiot. Don't need him on the Bears. He's not good anyway.
No, he's not great.
Yeah. Get out of here.
To confirm, DK Metcalf and our scoring from it had 47, and Russell Wilson had 43.
So that's pretty good.
I got 90 points from them combined.
Oh, no.
Yeah, DK is 12 for 161 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, sometimes you run into that and you just tip your hat. Good game.
Moving on. Oh, that wasn't close.
So let's recap kind of some of our other leagues, though. Our joint league, we have the lead, but
Riley, bring him out.
We were talking about we are projected as a 50-50 split as for who's going to get the win in that one.
Yeah, we need Evans and Gronk to not do well for us to pull that one out.
So let me take a look at exactly where we're at.
I'm going to go through some of the other quarterbacks that did well.
So we are up 90. No, okay, now we're up 110 to 76.
Yeah.
So, yep. Gronk, no points so far. Mike Evans. I need Mike Evans to do poorly in our Dynasty League. Let's see. I'm up 118 to 107.
Just not going to happen, Pocket.
And I got Rojo going and Evan Ingram. Oh, I actually need Scotty Miller to do bad, so he's actually got more points than both Rojo and Mike Evans with 3.6 points.
Yeah, no, I wish. I don't know. I don't know if I wish Howard was back on the Bears anyway. I don't think it would necessarily.
I think it'd
help.
be a good fit for him as of right now.
Yeah, but why wasn't it a good fit 2 seasons ago?
It was a pretty good fit, and I think they missed him when they traded him away. And even at the time, I thought, man, they should have got more. I don't know if there was some character stuff, some behind the scenes things.
He's been fine. He does his blind half the time.
Well, let's bring that up also, though. So the Bears gave him away for nothing, and now all of a sudden he finds himself on a team that traded for him where they don't want to play him. It makes you wonder if maybe he has a little bit of an abrasive personality, and that's holding him back. Just a speculative thought there.
Yeah. Why run into 5 guys in the backfield when he can party in Florida? That's true. All right, some quarterbacks that did well. Matt Stafford, Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, Phillip Rivers, Drew Lock. Drew Brees had a decent, he had a pretty good day too. 280 and 2.
So was there an NFL trade? Did the Saints get Cone Alexander?
I didn't
see that come across it either. So he would be a nice little defensive player for him.
I don't see it yet, but we'll check it out. Wim said that the defensive back spit in his face.
So let's see. We got to maybe bring Riley on the team. I think they were referring to Riley Ridley, Calvin Ridley's brother, who has played on the Bears. The one season, all I remember is he had to play one play where he got a reception and lost his shoe. The scouting report on him is he's no Calvin, but he's a good good blocker as far as receivers go.
Just loses his shoes.
So I thought maybe he'd get out there with just some toughness in the name and getting the blocks. But
Yeah, I saw that too as well. Pocket Marlon Humphrey and AJ Dillon.
So Marlon Humphrey both tested positive for COVID.
Yep.
I don't know. People get COVID. Hopefully they separate them. Everybody goes on, play football. They get better. Everything's cool.
That's interesting. It's Uzi Wilt. I don't know how I feel about that.
Interesting. So Cone, talk about him. Let's see, linebacker.
Yes.
Was he on the 49ers?
I think he was on the 49ers.
For a stint. And where is he coming from now? Is he coming from 49ers?
Yeah, he was on the Buccaneers before, I believe.
Okay. So, yeah, he's a talented linebacker. Does he have is he a little bit of a knucklehead?
No, he's just old.
Okay.
Corey Davis, 8 for 128 and a touchdown this week. You going to the waivers to pick him up?
Say again, the name?
Corey Davis.
Corey Davis I actually have on a team. I dropped Brian, the running back for the Falcons. I've been holding on to him, and I'm
going a fifth. Interesting.
I've been dropping him and picking him up, hoping that not hoping, but just thinking maybe Gurley would, the knees if they catch up with him. Brian Hill. So I dropped him, picked up Corey Davis before the game, had a big game. I think that he's shown out. He's shown me enough that I think that there are weeks where you can play him if you're just...
Well, in the weeks he's played in, or that he's finished at least, targets 8, 5, 6, 10, 10. In fantasy points in our format, 22, 12, 12, 15 and a half, 32.
So very respectable numbers. I know that him being there, people said they thought that hurt Jonnu Smith, who had a bad week. I'd be a little bit worried about Jonnu. He was a guy that I thought would always be kind of a boom-bust tight end where he would have those weeks where he disappeared and maybe Brown or Davis or Henry get the touchdowns.
Dubberger, welcome in. Lost Kittle in 2 PPR leagues. Jared Cook as well as Austin Hooper are available in both leagues. Other available tight ends, Gesicki, Dwelly, Reed, Burton, Everett, Olsen. Who you guys like rest of season?
In one of our leagues, I had someone try and get Gesicki from me, and I offered Gesicki for a next year's 10th round pick, and we have an auction draft, so it equates to somewhere between $5 and $10 in the auction draft, and he did not accept that. So Gesicki, people aren't willing to pay a lot for him.
I'm starting Jared Cook of those options with all the injuries in the wide receiver core there. He's still the red zone target.
Yeah, he's they've been going to him. He's been pretty good. Austin Hooper, I think Nick likes the tight end whose name I can never remember on the Browns, but he's not good. So Hooper is a good call. I think both of those guys are ones that you could just pick up and try to go with.
Jordan Reed, again, you never know what game he's going to get hurt in.
I'm away from Jordan Reed. Burton, I also don't like. They have 3 tight ends that can get the ball on that team. Everett, actually, of all those guys, is an interesting one. Higbee was questionable all week. He did play in that game, but he wasn't good. He's starting to be a little bit more, you can glance at him. Greg Olsen, they haven't used the tight end on the Seahawks very much. He's had a couple of receptions. He makes good catches. He's still got talent as far as he's not too old to play. But
with 2 in Miami now, Gesicki is droppable.
You only saw 1 game from Tua. I get if you want to drop him. I don't hate it.
It was really bad. It was a really bad game.
But he is a healthy tight end who is physically talented. It just depends on how they use him.
Right.
I get if you drop Gesicki. I don't hate it, but in the league where I've got him on a team. Again, people are starting to get a little bit more desperate for tight ends. Maybe you can flip him for, I was trying to sell him for a low amount, I feel. Yeah. A late draft pick, which, again, in an auction draft just equates to a couple dollars. I might even resend the offer for like a 12th. What does a 12th equate to in the auction draft? That's the other thing I got.
$1.
Is it $1?
Nothing. Yeah.
What's above
after the 9th or 10th round, it's like nothing.
All right. I was trying to get $5 for next year's auction draft.
Okay. Other fantasy studs from this weekend. Devontae Adams, 7 for 53 and 3 touchdowns. Travis Kelce, 8 for 109 and a touchdown.
Yep.
Cooper Kupp, 21 targets, 11
Cooper's
catches,
interesting because people have
yards.
been worried about him. So if you held on to him or if you traded for him, you like to see those numbers. The Rams had a weird game where it started awful. Goff had negative points through 3 quarters.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you turn it around and he had, 300 yards and those guys all had, fantasy points. So It was so bad that it made the wide receivers good because they had to garbage time catch up for an extended period of time.
Cooper Cup in our format, 8, 13, 30, 20, 14, 4, 12, 28. It's not bad. It's it's startable. It's a good flex. If you can flex Cooper Cup, you're in a good spot. Robert Woods right behind him with a rushing touchdown as well as 7 catches for 85 yards.
Yeah, they've actually been
touchdown.
giving Robert some rushes, so that's interesting.
Yeah, I think in the last few games, Woods has actually had a better season than I would think.
That's not his first rushing touchdown on the year, I don't believe.
No, he's had another one or two.
You like to see that out of your guy. Any way you can get in the end zone.
Joe Burrow, a pretty good
No
day.
problem, Dub.
249 and 2
I hope you make the right choice. Good luck to you in your tight end search.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill, 4 for 98 and 2 touchdowns.
You are the Chicago Bears right now. Just all these tight ends out there. Are any of you good? Please, one of you be good. We could use a tight end.
Any tight end running back.
Just go with the Bears strategy. Drop everybody on your bench. Pick up all tight ends. And just hope one's good.
Julio Jones, 7 for 137.
Julio looking good out there.
He
Julio,
was.
Yeah,
he's good a lot.
He's another one that if we're kind of doing a little bit of retrospect looking back, but like if you got Julio, there was a time there where you probably could have bought low on him. So there are some people in some leagues who probably made that call, and they're feeling good about it now.
Yeah. Alvin Kamara, we talked about.
Hold on. What? That was
Alvin Kamara is not trash.
Accidental fire. Here's the one I was going for. Yeah, Alvin having a good day.
13 targets.
The Bears in a crushing disappointment loss.
Yeah, it wasn't good from that.
And they just continued to shoot themselves in the foot. It was just like
they're really good at it.
It's like they had just a pow, 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 just like just an automatic weapon, just shooting themselves in the foot over and over.
Vert says, quick question. If I don't have Kenny Galladay this week, would you start someone like Marvin Jones or Mike Williams for him?
I like Mike Williams. Mike Williams had a big game. And then when I started him, he disappeared for a week. And then last week, he has another big game. We both talked about how we like Justin Herbert. He's airing it out. Mike Williams is that guy that if he's healthy, he can get those contested catches. I want to say he had a red zone or an end zone target that he just barely didn't come up with. So I like Mike Williams out of those two. Marvin Jones, people had high expectations going into the year. He wasn't good. Finally had a couple just games where he showed some life, but I definitely like Mike Williams a lot more out of the two.
I don't know if I like Mike Williams a lot more. But
you hate Mike Williams. You've always hated Mike Williams.
Yeah, but I also don't like Marvin Jones. Even when Galladay was out earlier in the year, Marvin Jones wasn't really the guy.
I do like Mike Williams.
I don't. He's been just overhyped for too long now. I bought in early.
Yeah, 2 games over 30. Is that right? Or is it just under 30 and then 1 over 30?
I don't know. I'd have to check it.
That's good points for a wide receiver. Not every wide receiver can put up 30.
I'm not saying he's not valuable if you know which weeks to start him.
He's good. Again, I think I'd stick with him. Yeah, I like him a lot.
He's unpredictable. If you need a lot of points and you can slot him in to try and be your boom option, I think that's a perfectly fine play. Maybe not Fonts available. Hawkinson. I almost like Hawkinson over these 2 options after
I get
10
that,
targets.
but I like Mike Williams. I'm a Mike Williams guy. I think if he's healthy and he's playing, I'm firing him up.
All these guys, the floor is like 0 points. So
Mike Williams is getting more targets. How many targets do you have in that game? I'll look it up because he's on my team.
He had a good game this week, but
again, just the targets follow the targets is kind of a good piece of advice when you're trying to figure out between wide receivers. If there's a guy that has 30 points on 3 targets, I'd rather have the guy that had 15 points on 10 targets.
All right, let's vet this real quick. He had 8 targets this week. So starting
8 targets is solid.
Starting week 1, 9, 4, 1, 8, 3, 8. You can't start him.
You can start him. 34 points, bye week, and then he had the 1.4 that screws with your mind, but then he had 21 past week.
Here's his points. 11, 3, 3, 0, 35.
The 3-2, though,
21.
You got to take into account that it was Tyrod Taylor, and then they had the punctured lung thing, and then Herbert came in as a rookie. Now Herbert's cooking. You got to admit, Herbert started, consistently been playing better and better, building his confidence.
Yeah, but that doesn't
show up
on the
be
stat
good,
sheet for Mike Williams.
If Herbert's it has in 3 out of two out of the last 3 games.
3 with
2 out of the
another
last
week
3
in between.
Go with Mike Williams. That's my call. If
Again,
you want to listen to Nick, listen to Nick. But I'm firing up Mike Williams.
I'm not saying I would start Marvin Jones either. I would just hope there was potentially another option.
And
out
I
there.
want to say that the Chargers are coming up on a soft part of their schedule. So let me glance at it real quick for you. So
Marvin Jones, or let's see, Mike Williams or Curtis Samuel.
So they've got Las Vegas, Miami, New York Jets. So that's the 11th most points to wide receivers, 19th most points, and 20 most points. So they've got that. Then they've got Buffalo and New York that are tough. But then right after that, Atlanta in Week 14, probably the first week of a lot of teams.
Is that for real? Was there really an
Playoffs.
Alfred Morris sighting in this game? There he is. I see him on the field.
Mike Williams.
He's still there. Okay, Mike Williams or Curtis Samuel?
I'm gonna go with Mike Williams by just a good amount.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one for show. For show. I'm getting that for show.
Curtis Williams is the third wide receiver on his team, and
Curtis
Mike Williams
Samuel.
is the second.
I think Mike Williams is a fine play.
Thank you.
He's just,
We got Nick there. We got him there.
He's just not my favorite.
You heard it here. Nick loves Mike
Again,
Williams.
the floor is still 0 points.
It's Nick's best friend in the world.
No, that's Hopkins. Never
Yeah,
mind
really.
Hopkins.
Yep. So the Cardinals were on the bye. I did grab Chase Edmonds. I had to get through this week without him because he was on bye, but I'm excited to start him up next week. Hopefully Chris Carson will be back and can start Chase and Chris.
All right, let's get back at it. Mecole Hardman, 7 catches for 96 yards and a touchdown. Naeem Hines back to relevancy, maybe?
Yep. The finest
3 catches,
end zone
54 yards and a
celebration
touchdown.
of the year with the twisting backflip. Didn't hurt himself, so I give it a 10.
That was good.
But again, if I'm a coach and I see a guy do that, I'm not going to be the most jerk to him, but like I'm saying something like, "Hey,
I wouldn't.
don't do that."
I don't think I would, Vert. Would you go Mike Williams over Slayton?
I might glance at the matchups for that, but Slayton, honestly,
Slayton at Washington.
Slayton hasn't been phenomenal. I want to see the rest of this game. If he has a good game here, if he shows you something, it looks like they just targeted him, overthrown in the end zone. I like Herbert as a quarterback more than I like Danny Dimes this year, though.
Slayton 9, 6, 7, 7, 11, 4, 3, 3 as far as targets go. The 3 is for this game.
I'm going with Mike Williams.
I'll go Slayton. Why not?
Fair enough.
Just to go against the grain. And I think it's again, the floor is 0 still.
The floor is lava.
All right, let me get back to the points here. The Buccaneers aren't really doing a whole lot in this game yet.
Yeah, so in
would
the
be
comments, I
hilarious if
do
they
like
would
Mike
lose.
Williams over Slayton. I'm trying to think of
Pocket,
guys.
who wouldn't you start or trust? Mike Williams or Slayton? Marcio, act like you've been here before. It's kind of like old football quote about over celebrating, like, be cool. They can't. About Hines.
Like I said, I'm not.
It's a good flip.
I don't even hate celebrations that much. I don't love them, but like if you want to do a dance or something, if you want to do the Justin Jefferson 3 glasses shuffle, fine. Don't do
Yes.
something where you could blow
That's
your
the
knee
answer.
out. That's my point as the coach. It's like, hey, we need you to play football. I've seen kickers just after kicker jump up and down, blow like their ACL.
Yeah, or
Like,
the defensive guys after the sack.
Just don't take the unnecessary risk of doing like that kind of thing. That's where I'd be at as a coach. And again,
I tell you what, I was on YouTube earlier. I watched all 17 minutes of the greatest game nobody ever saw, which was a 2009 game between the rookie Stafford Lions against the Brady Quinn Browns.
is ISO giving us the bits? Just the
A
bits.
couple biddies.
Appreciate
Little
it.
good split decision. I'll flip a coin.
love the bits.
We really narrowed your decisions to the decisions you gave us.
Well, Nick did beat me this week, so you might have to go with Nick on this week. But
Ooh, I like it.
Again.
Hunting to me.
reigning champ in the league where he beat me, though. So
But the reason I was telling that story before is Calvin Johnson did the crossbar dunk, which I wish they could bring back.
you can do the crossbar dunk,
I don't
right?
think you can anymore.
Oh, just
No,
again, the
otherwise
worry
Jimmy
about
Graham
the
would be
injury.
doing it
So
as much as
your
possible.
crossbar dunk injury less likely than the twisting backflip round off. You know, with a
Dub Rugged, 2 QB league, waiver wire is thin. Who do you like as a Minshew replacement? Nick Mullins, Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, Jake Luton, or go back to the Andy Dalton well? Oh, man.
not the Dalton well. Never again. No, I would need to see a good game out of Dalton before I try and poke that red stick again.
This is me pumping the well of Dalton because I'm starting him. Why not?
Oh, farewell.
I'm
Dalton,
putting him back
but
in there. If he's playing, I'm
better
starting him.
dead than red. All right, 2 QB leagues, so that makes So Minshew, having the thumb injury. If you haven't heard about that, his replacement Mullins not going to be the former Bears mistake, Glennon, which I thought it was going to be.
Well, Mullins looked good
I
last year.
honestly don't know
not so much
that
in the
much
game he got to
about
play.
Mullins. Daniel Jones, I think he got, depending on the matchup, Daniel Jones is Darnold. You can't play the Jets. The Jets are awful. They're the worst team in the world.
Might wave the towel. Stick it out.
I'm going with Daniel Jones, even though the Giants are trying to be as bad as the Jets most weeks, but they can't do it.
Give me Andy Dalton. I think he's gonna just go full Fitzmagic. And
So
just
Kelsey
start
did a
throwing the ball.
crossbar dunk because all Kelsey does is score touchdowns and dunk balls
When did he do it? I gotta see the replay.
after his touchdown.
When?
He got penalized.
Oh, he got
Interesting.
penalized
is
for it.
a
There we go.
penalty. All right.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad we cleared that up. Thank you, Chet.
Yeah.
Still did it because Kelsey does what Kelsey wants.
Is the Ken Norton beating up the goalpost with punches allowed? I'm guessing that probably is allowed still. I just don't think you can dunk on it. I think that's the only way you can't affect it.
So here's the thing. Don't wave the towel right now. If your team's tanking, if everything's going bad, there are a lot of teams where everything's going downhill.
Yeah.
There are some low scoring games in a lot of the leagues that I'm in. I've played where I looked at my lineup. I'm like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to pull it out this week. And then lo and behold, I turn around and everyone underperforms and I'm still in it. Again, unless you're like, 1-7, 0-8, keep battling. Try
Again,
to make those playoffs. So you can get to the playoffs.
Mike and I had a short conversation after the stream. Was it yesterday or last Monday? It said when we talked preseason about how fantasy football is kind of changing and the way we're starting players is changing. We're seeing it more and more as we go because you'll have 1 or 2 guys in your team that blow up and everybody else does awful. It's not like a bunch of consistent guys. It's 2 booms and a lot of busts, and you just hope you have enough boom guys that week. It makes roster construction going forward kind of interesting.
Oh, so that's exactly what I was worried about. Pocket Pool says, don't think Rojo's gotten another snap since the fumble.
You blew it!
Bruce Arians hates Rojo. He just loves to sit him down for anything.
Then
and
don't fumble it.
Man, you play football.
I'm 4-3. Don't wave the
sometimes you
towel
make
if you're 4-3.
mistakes. So
You'll be fine.
Bruce Arians hates Ronald Jones.
He's wearing a face mask and 2 sets of glasses.
and he's got the microphone out past the face mask.
Yeah, no, that's a
Bruce
great look.
Arians. I don't know, man. I think he's a good coach, but I'm not a big fan of his.
All right, next on our list, Brandon Ayuk.
He's 4-3. You're 4-3. Oh, don't throw it. That's a Nick throwing the towel. He's like, I gotta blow it up. We better start taking.
He's so mad.
On to next year. He's 4-3, man. People would kill for 4-3.
Oh,
He's
man.
trolling us.
Cavalier, welcome in. Giovanni Bernard for DeAndre Swift.
Those
Who
are
wins the
playoff
trade?
making numbers.
I need a little more information. Is it dynasty or redraft? If it's redraft, I think I'd rather have DeAndre Swift rest of season. If I'm a team that's in the hole though, and I need some wins now, Giovanni Bernard I would rather have in the short term.
Yeah,
still.
Gio's definitely going to be hurt by Mixon coming back. You
Yeah.
don't know exactly how many weeks he got with him.
Not trolling beyond man. Oh man,
I'm outraged. Yeah, it's flabbergasted. How
So-
dare you say your
so upset.
team's not good when you got a winning record?
All right, now the shouting's over. Brandon Ayuk, 11 targets, 8 catches, 91 yards, and a touchdown. What are you feeling? Do you like Brandon Ayuk?
RC 4-3. Look, we got a lot of 4-3s in there. I got a couple teams
Yeah.
where I got 4-3, and I am fully planning on winning the championship with those teams.
Again, with this type of roster construction, almost all of our
So-
leagues, the winner is at 5-2.
Now is
or 4-3 or
now is
whatever
the
it is.
time of year though where people do start getting a little fatigued, they get a little bored, they stop looking at the waivers, like there's no good names out there on the waiver, I can't find anybody. You gotta keep playing,
Thanks,
stay
Cavalier.
hungry, keep
Come hang
watching
out
the
more.
show, keep making the moves, keep stacking those wins. And another point, so this is a little bit more of an advice for if you're new to fantasy football. This is personally my first year. I lost. I wasn't good. It drove me to be better at fantasy football. What I did was I kept playing. I kept trying to compete as if I was going to, I wasn't going to make the playoffs. I wasn't going to have a run or anything.
Right.
But I kept playing. I kept paying attention. And what that let me do is it let me learn about players. You got guys who maybe they had the first half of the year where people stopped paying attention. And then they came on at the end. You learn about the rookies. So keep playing.
Well, it keeps the integrity of the league.
So also, if
as
you're
well.
in leagues and there are people like that like they haven't won a game all year, but they still are picking up. They're making waiver wire moves. They're setting their lineups. Like that's good. You want people like that. You don't want people that just say, "Oh, I'm out of it. I quit. I'm not going to pick up anybody." And it helps keep the rest of the league competitive because if it gets down to just 4 people and they're getting all the waivers, whatever they want, like that's not good for your league. So keep playing, play all the way to the end. Even if you got no chance to win, it'll make you a better player. It'll keep you abreast of the knowledge that's out there. That is correct, the way that I use that.
Sure it is. There's someone impersonating Zeke. Where? In the game? So I got to go. Hunt's about to take a back seat, probably. I hope not. I just traded for Hunt.
Nick did just get him. He got him for, again, a bargain basement price.
This is a pretty good deal.
Again, I think
wow, I'm late, says Bambo. Yeah.
Hey,
and
Bam.
you've missed all of nothing in this game. It's been
that's all right.
very quiet.
The New York Giants actually winning this game right now. The 1-6 Giants are leading on the 5-2 Buccaneers, but Tampa Bay getting in there.
And there was a lot of people heavy betting the Buccaneers because I saw the line started at 10 points, and when I think we got on, it was at 12.5.
It would be a shocker if the Giants, but this has been a week of upsets. I actually
heavy
saw
Bucks.
an article come across my phone that this is one of the worst weeks for betting, like in the history of betting, because there were so many big upsets.
Yeah, no, it was a weird week.
It was. So I hope you didn't lose your shirt.
Dubberger, Zach Moss a must grab. He's available in the league I'm in, or is that just going to be a headache? J.K. Dobbins is available in the league too. Would you rather have rest of the season Moss or Dobbins?
So I would honestly probably rather have Dobbins for the upside. If Ingram's out, So he had a good game against the Steelers, and the Steelers' defense was very competitive. They were on their game. It was a divisional matchup, so I think there are brighter days for Dobbins. I think Dobbins is the more talented. He was the more highly touted rookie. He was taken higher in the NFL draft. The only worry there is that there's still Gus Edwards getting a lot of volume, and then if Ingram comes back, there's more guys to compete with. Zach Moss only has to compete with Devin Singletary, and he's already basically got the goal line work. That's pretty locked up. Even if Singletary plays better than him, has more yards, they still like to go to him in the red zone. So those touches are valuable. He could be a guy that gets those multiple touchdown games here and there. The Bills' offense has been pretty good. They're taking a little bit of step back, a little regression.
Yeah.
But Josh Allen has been good.
Well, and Josh Allen rushing in touchdowns doesn't help either.
That can also be another red zone weapon to take into account. But I think Zach Moss, I've been waiting and expecting this to happen. I've got him on a lot of benches. I've got him in Dynasty. I don't think it's going to be this good every week, but I think he's going to be a guy that you can use as a running back.
I'm with Pocket on this one. I wouldn't trust any Buffalo running back.
Fair enough.
I think Moss is a fine flex player if you're forced to running back too.
Faking him out with a decoy.
As long as you understand what he is. I mean, you're probably going to get between 2 and 8 points, and that's that. J.K. Dobbins has a chance of being a RB1 if he gets the full workload from that backfield.
Yeah, I would say that Dobbins has the higher upside, like the higher ceiling. But Zach Moss, I think, could be usable. And there may be weeks where you don't get a lot of points, but there are going to be also weeks where he should get the touchdown.
If I'm blowing fab or waiver priority, I'd rather go with the guy that has a potential to be a top 12 type of running back, and not the guy who's going to be splitting the job entirely.
That's fair enough. I would agree. I would rather have Dobbins.
I think that's the right call. Brandon Ayuk, Mike doesn't want to talk about him, but he's been pretty solid here as of late, and with no other receiving targets and Kittle out.
I don't hate Ayuk. I like Ayuk.
I know, but I brought him up twice, and you started shouting at the chat.
People were having conversation. 4 and 3.
And then he starts doing these hand motions.
What are you doing?
Oh, man. Giovanni Bernard, we talked about, had a good day. DJ Dallas, did you end up starting him?
I did start DJ Dallas, and here's the thing. So I also had Hasty and Zach Moss, who I had on the bench. I was like, oh, no, I should have played them over Dallas. And then Dallas comes out and makes me feel okay about myself.
Yeah, DJ Dallas, 18
thanks,
carries,
DJ.
41 yards, 1 touchdown, 5 receptions for 17 yards and another touchdown. Chat's popping off a little bit.
All right, go. Let's address the chat. We don't want to ignore it.
Okay, we're way behind.
Rapid fire.
Okay. Bambo, one with DK and Tyree getting me combined 85 points. Ooh,
Congratulations.
that's nice. Against Dalvin. We asked if somebody played Dalvin and won this week, or played against Dalvin and won this week. So at least we have one confirmed. Pocket Allen steals a lot of carries. Yeah, Josh Allen rushing in the touchdowns.
That's true. Good
that's
point.
a lot of vulturing. Susie Vert, wait. Scratch. Mike Williams and Marvin. What about Christian Kirk? He's available. Christian Kirk or Mike
Christian
Williams?
Kirk has some pretty decent upside as the second wide receiver on that team. He's had a couple multiple touchdowns, at least one, maybe two. I don't hate Christian Kirk, actually.
Yeah, no, I think I'm starting Kirk over Williams, and I'm probably starting Kirk over Slayton in the right matchups. But
I still slightly lean Williams, but I think Kirk is a close comp. Like they're right in the same range.
Bambo. Okay, who's a safer play since I have both Moss and Singletary since Mixon is out for me? I think the answer here
Full PPR, Singletary gets the reception work a little bit more, but Zach Moss, they actually do throw it to, and he gets a goal line carry. I'm taking Zach Moss over Devin Singletary.
They had similar yardage, and the touchdowns will save you.
I was listening to Mike Tagliere from the Fantasy Pros, and I believe he had Zach Moss a couple spots higher in his rankings over Singletary as well.
Yeah. Pyatt says Kirk is fringe flex play at this point every week. Again, Arizona's offense is weird. You're right with the Chase Edmonds thing and the running back situation. It's kind of wonky right now.
You would agree he's the number 2 wide receiver on that team when he's healthy and in?
Yeah. Again, I still read the reports on Reddit that they had culminated where it doesn't seem like the team completely likes Kirk, but he keeps being productive. So yeah, start him.
I think Mike Williams over Kirk, but just by a little bit for me.
Should I drop Tevin Coleman for Kirk?
So Tevin Coleman, another injury. I believe you can drop Tevin Coleman if you don't have an IR spot. If you do have an IR spot, I don't know if he's fully gone to out or IR slot, but
yeah, I think in redraft,
if you wait, he will go to that spot.
I'm off the 49ers bandwagon at this point.
Yeah, if his designation doesn't allow you to put him in yet, it should change, and he should be in there by the end of the week.
If you have Hasty, great. Otherwise, I'm out. Alfred Morris will have more season fantasy football points after this week than Coleman has all season. Interesting. We'll see how that holds up. I think Coleman will be back, but I don't want to.
You think he's going to be back next week?
Coleman?
I don't
know that he's back next week, but he'll be back in enough time that you can,
just enough time to make that whole backfield hard to decide who to play.
Ruin somebody else's value.
It's a mucked up backfield.
Who'd you rather, Gaskin over any Bills running back? I would.
Gaskin, if you need like 10 to 15.
Yeah, I would be happy with 10 to 15 out of my running back every week.
Yeah. I think it's a safer floor.
Anyone else pumped for Chase Edmonds starting this week?
I am. I picked up Chase Edmonds, held him through the bye week. I'm very excited to start him.
Yeah, I hope he is not bad.
So the Cardinals on a whole, their running game has been bad. You could blame it on Kenyon Drake, but it might partially be their line and their scheme. If that's the case, Chase Edmonds could run into the same kind of problems, but Chase looked good in relief of Kenyon when he went down in that last game.
Yeah.
I believe their matchup is decent. So Chase Edmonds, I know the fantasy footballers, they're big Arizona Cardinal homers, but sometimes when you want to know about a guy, whether he's good or not, listen to the home fans because they're the ones that watch him. They're the ones that pay attention to him. So I like Chase Edmonds this week. I'm starting him.
Okay, it's my options for both my running back spots, by the way, PPR. Gibson, Moss, Singletary, Gaskin. I'm starting Gibson and Gaskin. And I might be trying to sell Moss and Singletary for one option if somebody's buying it.
Yeah, if you could get rid of Moss on a high, people do need running backs. If you could sell high off his last game, people believe in the hype. There will be all the shows talking about him. But yeah, I agree with Nick. I think Gibson, Gaskin is the two I go with.
All right, Keenan Allen this week, 9 for 67 and a touchdown. Again,
Keenan Allen's been very good.
Very, very good. Let's see.
Getting a lot of targets.
8 points, 18, 35, 14, 11, 27, 22. I'll take that.
Wayne Gallman has looked okay. Giants looking a little better so far, but give this game time. Wouldn't shock me if all of a sudden Tom figures them out and they start stacking points against them.
Well, Ethan put our wager on the under on Gallman rushing yards, so that's not really paying off a whole lot right now.
What was the number? What was the line?
It was like 37.5, so not a super high line.
I feel shocked.
See, there goes Slayton.
All right, Slayton
Always start Slayton.
I don't know about that.
Derrick Henry got over the 100-yard mark.
I'm of the mind of the sit the Giants. Like I don't really have any Giants pieces. The only one I do have is Evan Ingram, tight end, who still hasn't had like a giant game yet, but he's getting a decent amount of targets. He's a talented.
Ingram has been really disappointing since his rookie year.
He's an NFL first-round pick, and he has underachieved as far as where he was taken in the draft. The Giants, you wonder how much it's their fault, how much it's his fault. But he's one that if he was out there anywhere, I'd be scooping up Ingram as far as a tight end to have.
I'm not. I'm leaving him there.
All right. See what he ends with today.
Lamar Jackson having a not so good day. Still got 2 touchdowns, but
Lamar.
2 interceptions, 65 rush yards.
You know
what?
He salvaged the day, but yeah, Lamar, he has not been what you hoped he would be. They did play the Steelers. The Steelers got after him. He lost a good lineman who they had just signed to a big deal. So there are some issues with Lamar. Some of the passes that he threw were closer than you would think if you hadn't watched it. Some of those garbage time throws. He throws a rope too, man. He throws it on a line kind of like Herbert.
But the rope goes to nowhere.
That's possible. It's less accurate than Herbert.
Can't get Kurt yet. Only if I drop Dez, won't do it. You're holding Dez Bryant over Christian Kirk.
You don't want Dez.
I think you can. As much as I love the optimism, I think
the Ravens practice squad. Even if he comes in, Lamar hasn't been.
Yeah, Lamar can't find anybody
making
anyway.
wide receiver ones.
Do you think they would trade Ingram away before deadline or any other people? Golden Tate to the Packers would be interesting.
I actually did read an article that Evan Ingram would be. There were people calling for that in New York. They don't think the team's going to be anything this year. They haven't been good.
Right.
They got a bad record.
Well, who's he going to go to?
So that is a good question. I wouldn't see him as a good fit for the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers don't love to use a tight end.
I'm thinking like the Seahawks.
Not the Patriots. They're just not at that point for him right now. Seahawks, they've got enough tight ends that do what they need them to do.
Right.
The Bears would ruin him.
Houston, but there's no reason they would want to spend any money at this point either.
No, actually, as I'm going through it in my head,
it's just not a super hot spot that anybody has really lost a key player.
give me
in.
a second to think
The
about
49ers
it.
lost Kittle, but they're not playing for anything.
No, they're not going to be buyers on him right now.
I can't wait till Dez is throwing up the X again. I don't know. I wouldn't mind. I'd like to see him get in a game.
From the bench, he's just going to be showing, I'm an ex-NFL player. Or goes to the XFL itself.
You
when
know
that comes
already
back.
I don't need wide receivers, so I got Gaskin for
Nah,
Mike Williams
Ingram to the
just now.
Niners doesn't make sense.
Nice.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, no, they obviously need a tight end to start, but
One that
there's no
comes
reason
to
spend money on
mind,
it.
a team that's a little bit on the rise, they're going to have some cap space because they got a rookie QB, is the Chargers. Hunter Henry, he's had a lot of injuries in his life. He's getting older. He hasn't been great this year. They don't have a lot of passing options. They got Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. The rest of their guys are kind of
like that,
unnamed.
Bambo.
So I'd say the Chargers is one that, as I was going through them in my head, might be a spot for him.
Yeah, they still have Hunter Henry, and again, they're not really going to be playing for
The
anything.
Cincinnati
this season either.
Bengals with stud tight end who did not come to fruition, Drew Sample, since they lost the real stud, C.J. Uzama, the man that would have been the tight end one on the year. Maybe the Cincinnati Bengals could use a tight end. Free up some cap space, just straight up trade A.J. Green to him for Evan Ingram.
Not going to happen.
Hey, it's a thought. It's a thought.
All right.
I'm just thinking.
Curtis Samuel rushing and receiving touchdown, not a whole lot of yardage, but 4 receptions. Damian Harris, 102 rushing and a touchdown.
So Damian Harris, I had him. I almost played him. I ended up dropping him. I threw McKinnon in the spot, and I was worried all game, but McKinnon did run in a touchdown, so he got like 13. Made me feel better about myself. But Damian Harris, if you're looking for a guy, if he's out there, I think you could pick him up. The problem with Damian is he doesn't get a lot of passing work. So the league I dropped him was a full PPR. Half or standard, I like him a lot better, and then a full PPR. He's just a guy, that team, they're having issues. I think they're going to start going into rebuild mode. Losing that game to the Bills was kind of like the last chance, the last gasp they had if they won that to be a competitor this year. So they're going to become sellers, not buyers. But yeah, I think he's a good running back. I don't know that his situation's great.
So here's your top 10 running backs from this week.
Read them off.
Dalvin Cook,
Alvin Kamara,
Naeem Hines,
Naeem Hines,
Giovanni Bernard,
all right, I'm done.
DJ Dallas,
All right,
Derrick
TJ,
Henry,
my guy.
Damian Harris, Jordan Wilkins, Zach Moss,
My
Jamal
guy.
Williams, and J.K. Dobbins. Exactly who we thought they would be.
So I got 2 of those guys in
4,
Dynasty.
5, 6,
I'm feeling
7,
good.
8, 9,
Feeling
10.
good.
That's 11. So 11 running backs, and there's only 3 or 4 guys that we would expect to be in that top 12.
Oh, I expected it because I got them all on my Dynasty.
Fantasy is just a cruel mistress. All right, let's talk about a little waiver action.
Is Josh Kelly running back for the Chargers? He's a drop in redraft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that this was about the week that it's like, if you don't show up, Eckler's going to be coming back. Yeah, I think that if you need a spot, I don't know that I'd hold on to Josh Kelly any longer.
Dub Rugger Ingram to the Cardinals would be interesting, or the Bengals call is good too. The Cardinals don't really like to use the tight end
don't need a
spot.
tight end. Don't like a tight end.
I don't know if it's because they don't have a good one, but they don't seem to use it.
Please no.
Bamboke got offered from the bottom seed in my league. My mix-in for Chubb is it worth, since he could come back and take my RB1 spot if he plays well. So he's giving you Chubb and you're giving up Mixon.
Is it a half PPR or full PPR?
I'd be trying to get rid of Mixon for this season. I read the report and he hasn't been practicing, and I'm worried. Chubb has
also had a pretty significant injury.
Absolutely, but
full PPR. They haven't used Mixon a ton in the passing game, but he's more capable as far as a pass catcher. Hunt, though, this is a note. If you're looking at Chubb and you're like, I don't know about Chubb, Hunt hasn't done enough to make it seem like, oh, now like Chubb's going to come back and he's going to be the second guy and Hunt's going to be the main guy. Hunt hasn't looked very good yet.
They've also played a couple tough defenses. And
who did they just play, though? They just played Cincinnati?
No. Well, they played in the Raiders, but they played in really crap weather.
So I think I like Chubb out of the two.
And the Raiders haven't been terrible.
I would read up a little bit more and try and get a feel for exactly when each guy looks like they're going to be back, what the reports are on their health. But I think of the two, just talent-wise, I'd rather have Chubb.
Yeah.
All of the Browns are awful.
Ingram, dude almost had 6. Yeah, it looked like he stepped just out. I dropped Kelly last week, Marcio.
Ingram's been real close on a lot of touchdowns also. If you watch these Giants games, if you've suffered through them, they always seem to get primetime games, which somebody needs to change the schedule, but goes to Gallman, so the Gallman does it. But, Ingram, man, he's been close on a lot of touchdowns. He's had a couple called back.
Dub says Gallman about to mess around and have the best night in RB has had against the Bucs this season. Very well could be. It's a hot start from him, 14-3. It would be hilarious to see the Buccaneers lose to the Giants.
It would be the kind of way that things have been going this week, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Good evening, fellas. Welcome, NBA.
Good evening.
Glad to have you. You guys still want to sell Gurley? That's a great question.
Yeah. Want to. I'm actually going to wait for this game to get over, and then I'm going to start shopping him to other teams in our co-managed league. Nick's got to agree. You got to agree. The schedule's getting tough. He's looking bad. He's looking old. It's wearing on him.
Who are you going to get for Gurley?
That's a good question. Wayne Gallman.
What?
So
who would you realistically want to trade Gurley for?
We've already got David Montgomery on that team.
We can't trade a running back for a receiver.
You go to the panicked,
for another running
back. Taylor owner, the panicked CEH owner, the panicked Zeke owner. One of those. Would you rather have any of those three over Gurley going forward?
Man,
I'm worried about the Cowboys just as a whole. So Dalton, as the reports look like he might be back next week. He still looked very bad in the games that he played. I'm worried about Zeke. I got Zeke in the league. I tried offering him for
Gurley for Zeke. Is that what you're considering?
Yeah. I don't know that just on
I'd
the
rather
names
have Zeke.
alone. Like that's what I'm saying. Zeke, I'm worried about with the Cowboys.
But I don't think anybody's
Pollard
making that trade anyway.
So how about CEH or Jonathan Taylor?
I would rather have Gurley.
How about the injured Eckler or Chubb?
I'd rather have Gurley.
Oh man, I'd rather have. I think
He's
I'd
not
rather
injured.
So our team's going to make the playoffs, and if we can just take a loss here or there as we get Eckler or Chubb back,
the only one I would trade for would maybe be like Antonio Gibson, because I think he could gain enough value as the season goes on. And
I'd rather have a lot of the guys I just talked about than Gibson.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it, but I would rather hold Gurley. The only way I would trade down is if I can get
who
Gibson
else is hurt? Miles Sanders is hurt. Chris Carson's hurt. Like those guys, that's what I'm saying.
There's nobody you can trade for. Maybe if we could package Gurley in a piece.
The thing about our team, especially if we get the win tonight, is like we've got enough wins that we could absorb some losses as we wait for those running backs who are better than Todd Gurley to come back. And I think Gurley's going to go off a cliff as he gets tougher matchups coming up.
Wayne Gallman's look pretty good. 7 carries, 31 yards, and a touchdown. NBA.
You just don't want to look at your team and see Wayne Gallman.
That's
gross.
That's the take. Do you guys think Giants would start Freeman next week if he's healthy? I think so.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think they're looking to start Gallman long term. I don't think that's their plan. Azusa Vert says, I think Hunt honestly may play better with Chubb in. I'm going to chalk it up to some weird game scripts and weather issues, and I think Hunt bounces back in his next game.
But again, I was mentioning before, I think that they kind of looked at Hunt as a little more of the receiving guy, as the double threat, kind of the lightning to the thunder.
He's proven he can do both.
Yeah, but they haven't used him like that as much.
I know, but again, I don't think that's going to continue. I'm not that worried. Also, I just bought them, so maybe there's some just purchased.
Nick is the meme or the kid, the GIF where they're like, "Do you miss your mom?" No. Yeah, that's you right now.
No, I still like the trade.
Yeah, no.
I'd rather have Hunt. Mike, just curious, did you start Juju?
I traded away Juju for Austin Eckler. So
There you go.
Juju didn't do real great in that last game. Deontay Johnson's still hurting everybody on that team when he's healthy, and then he gets hurt, and then he's injury prone.
He's injured. Exactly.
So yeah, no, I did start to have some concerns about Juju and just the volume, and there's a lot of mouths to feed on that team. So I'm hoping Eckler can come back and be a startable running back for my team.
Bambo, what are your thoughts on the 49ers-Packers game Thursday with Jimmy G and Kittle out? I think it's going to make for a pretty lopsided game.
Yeah, I think the Packers are going to win.
Playing great, but I think they're going to win.
There you are, Marcy. There's your Packers.
I don't think the 49ers are that good.
You're as close as you're going to get to Packers love from the two of us.
And I don't think Jimmy G.
No, the 49ers have had a lot of issues. They're missing their running backs. They're missing their quarterback. They're missing their tight end. They're missing wide receiver one. Like, they're just banged up.
Lag on. Hey, guys, do you think I should trade Boyd, Rojo, Shepard for Ridley and Gurley? Interesting. So Boyd's been solid. Rojo's been sketchy. Shepard's been hurt for Ridley.
I would trade all of them for Ridley by himself. So, yeah, I pulled the trigger not because I like Gurley. I don't believe in Gurley. I think he's going to start to decline, not be as good as he has been. But I love Ridley. He's been my guy if you watch the show.
Yeah, no,
he's got a little foot injury, but it looks like it's okay. He's going to come back, and he has been one of the top 5 guys on the year. So I like Ridley.
Yeah, no, I'm accepting that trade as well. Yeah, I think you get the two better players out of the deal. So yeah,
you better pull the trigger now before Rojo puts up 0 points because he fumbled and they benched him.
The only cause for concern here is you're maybe capping your upside with having both offensive pieces being from the Falcons, but they score enough that you're fine.
And let's see, they past their bye? Just double check real quick. Worth the note though, so that you don't have to.
I don't believe they have gotten their bye yet. No, because they said Ridley may sit out a game for the ankle and then set out the bye and then he'd be back. So I think they have a week 9 bye.
I thought, yeah, they have a week 10 bye.
Week 10 bye.
Okay, so that's worth noting also is that you'd have a bye week where you wouldn't get either of them.
That makes sense. All right, I'm going to ask it. Zeke for Drake and someone like DJ Moore, possibly Drake and Fuller. No. Drake is dead to us. Pocket, how do we feel about Drake going forward?
I actually have to agree with you. I like Drake. I kept holding on hope. I kept trying to trade for him. People wouldn't give him up. But now, with the injury, with him not being that good, he had that one kind of big game. But I think I think there's a real chance that Chase Edmonds comes in, looks good, and that he kind of steals the job.
Will Fuller, I like him as a player too, but yeah, no, I'm not in. Who has hope for Drake? Drake, there we go.
Drake's injury pro.
Man. It's Uzi Vert. See, it's a pro Chase Edmonds.
So
chat here.
Another note though about trading Zeke away. I think that I'm concerned about Zeke. He hasn't looked good in the last couple games. The Giants are a team in decline. They can't get their offense going because they got no quarterback. I don't think Dalton's the answer when he comes back. So I am worried about Zeke. I like Zeke a player as a talent, but they're really to the point of their season where what are they going to gain from rolling Zeke out there and giving him a ton of work when they've already got him on a long-term contract? They're going to give Pollard some work. So I don't like Zeke's prospects for the rest of this year. I like him a lot next year if they can get Dak back and things rolling. But
I think he's capped because I think
I would try to trade Zeke away.
Yeah, I think somebody said before you worried at all about Pollard. Yeah, Dubberger. I heard someone's take and it makes sense. Pollard getting more run because they want to take a little bit of the workload from Zeke and look towards next year.
I think that's very credible.
Yeah, I think some of those touches are going to go the other way, but I still think on the goal line, everything, Zeke's still going to be the guy. And again, I think Andy Dalton's going to be able to move the ball once he gets unconcussed. So we'll see.
So this is worth bringing up. If you're trying to look for a guy to trade for a running back, David Montgomery, he hasn't been great yet, hasn't had the big breakout game. His highest game, he had 20 points in one format, but he's hanging in there around 10 in a lot of weeks. But listen to the upcoming schedule. So next week they got Tennessee and Minnesota, 16th most points and 17th most points to the running back. But then they have their bye, but after that, Green Bay giving up the most points, Detroit 5th most points, Houston 4th most points to the running back, and then they got Minnesota 17th most and Jacksonville 6th most. So if you can get David Montgomery and he can catch a little bit of fire in the playoffs, the Bears, they've got enough wins now that even though they've really blew that Saints game, shot themselves in the foot. They might still be in contention. They have something to play for. Montgomery's young. He's the only running back on that team that's even close to good, even though he hasn't been great. I think if I could trade David Gurley, or again, we have in our one league, we've got Gurley and we've also got Montgomery, so we don't need to trade for him. But I would trade Gurley for Montgomery. I might even trade Zeke for. I think I'd trade Zeke for Montgomery. I was listening to footballers. They said they'd trade CEH for Montgomery. Jonathan Taylor, I still believe in, even though he hasn't had the games. I think if he has one good game, he can catch fire. He's got some good matchups, but I'd be targeting David Montgomery. Tell me if I'm crazy. What do you think?
I think you said last week that the Bears have a chance to win the Super Bowl, so I'm not listening to anything you say about any Bears players. I don't want David Montgomery. He can stay far, far away from my football team. Completely uninterested. I'd much rather have Gurley.
Wait
Zeke
for
for
it.
JT, I understand it.
Hold on, I got one for you.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
No, not interested.
I don't know if I said that in full seriousness.
Zeke over under RB.
The upside with the matchups, if
Zeke over under RB 8 rest of season.
you're looking for a healthy running back with volume where all of a sudden his matchups get a lot easier, I like David Montgomery. You're going to wish you had him.
Yeah, I just don't think Zeke is top 3 anymore. He's top 8, top 9. Crazy stat I saw today, Lamar Jackson has 5 interceptions, 8 sacks on 45 career passes versus Pittsburgh. He has 8 interceptions, 49 sacks on 733 passes versus the rest of NFL. That's a bad play on 25% of dropbacks versus Pittsburgh.
The Steelers get jacked up to play that game, man. The divisional games, teams care about it. If you've ever been a player and you played like your high school rival or something, it's a different feel. It's a different energy. People show up ready to go. So I get it. Like those divisional games, if you are even just a fan watching the games, like we watch the Bears-Packer games,
Right.
it's a different feel. Like you're jacked up, you're excited, you can't wait to watch it.
It's like the Steelers and the Browns. Like it ends up always being a close game for some reason, or the Giants and the Cowboys.
But yeah,
It's always
they're
close.
smash mouth games, man.
Montgomery will stay around 10 points per game, not too much upside. Gurley has touchdown upside.
I predict that David Montgomery's going to have more points, more touchdowns going forward for the second half of the year. Better second half.
We already
than the
have a
first half.
David Montgomery bet and pocket. Let me know if you think I'm crazy on this, but I just don't see David Montgomery doing any more than he's done already. Yes, if you need, he's the
So the soft matchups, like the string of soft
He's the
matchups
Cole-
through the playoffs, doesn't appeal to you at all.
he's like the Cole Beasley of running backs. Like if you need 8 to 10 points a week, he'll get you that, and it's super uninspiring football.
I wait for it.
Let's see here. I got to go back up. We missed a few things.
What do we got?
I know you talked about Ridley, but he just got me 1 point last week. He got hurt, no excuse.
1 point? I thought he had at least 5 or 6 points. But
no, I think he got hurt pretty early on.
I should have got you 4 receptions for like 70. No,
That was the
probably
week before,
50
wasn't it?
No, this is this past week.
Let's see. You may be right.
I watch Ridley. I've got him on all of my
3
teams.
for 42. So
3
you
for
got,
42.
You
All
got
right, I was a
7
little
points
over,
in
but
our format. But
yeah, Ridley got hurt. Injuries happen, but he's been very good this year. You can't be too upset with Ridley. He did have that one other game where it was really low scoring. I think he goosed you, but
again, I think
overall very high on the season.
we're shipping Gurley off into the sunset too fast. Like he's 2 years removed from being the touchdown leader in the league.
If you watch his games, he just hasn't looked good. He's been very Kenyon Drake-esque, but he's gotten the touchdowns.
Again, the offensive line there is not good.
If he doesn't get in for some of these touchdowns, his stat lines are not good. He's not rushing for a lot of yards. He's not getting a lot of receptions.
But he's getting touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't think he will going forward is my point. I think he's going to have the same kind of...
Mike, we're week 8. We're halfway through the season.
The
He's done
matchups.
it.
You got to look at matchups in fantasy football. If you don't
What about
pay
the matchups
attention to matchups...
up until this point? You're saying
they've been good matchups.
everyone has
They've
been
been soft matchups. I can read you off what they are, but that's part of why I've been telling people, like, hold Gurley. You can still play him. And then this is the week. This is the sell spot. This is the highest you're going to be able to sell him.
Yeah.
Because he's coming up against hard matchups.
Again, I'm not buying into David
Matchups?
Montgomery as the other one. No, I mean, I understand the matchup argument. And
David's just one choice. If you could trade him for other things, I get other things. If you want to take your chance on some of those other guys that are worrisome, like CEH, Zeke, maybe hope that the talent shows out. But
4.2, yeah. On PPR, 4.2.
I wouldn't do it for Lev Bell, but Lev would be a sneaky guy who could pick up a little bit of momentum
Mike,
going forward.
you're giving away RB 4 on the season for Le'Veon Bell?
Again, you're selling him at an RB4, but he's not going to be an RB4 is my take on it.
Okay, but if you're selling him for RB4, now you're buying RB50.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I wouldn't trade Gurley for Lev Bell straight up. But if I could get Lev Bell and
but Mike, this is the number 4 running back on the season. If you're trading him for anybody outside the top 8 running backs on the year, then you're losing a lot of value.
Not if I can get a running back who's going to finish better than what he's going to finish for the rest of the year.
But again, you're not getting max value then. Then I want more pieces.
That's what I said. If I was going for a guy like Lev, I'd want another piece. David, I might just do straight up.
If I'm making a run for the playoffs, I'm not trying to get 2 pieces for one. I understand it, but I'd still rather try and trade Gurley another piece for something more than.
Again,
I get it.
The point is that you sell him for the height that he's at now, even though because I don't think he'll maintain it.
Yeah, no, I understand, but
but I hate every bit of it.
I don't like it. He's been productive, and it's a powerful enough offense that they're going to keep scoring. Burrows and the Bungles are coming up on a tough schedule. Whoever gets the best player in the trade wins the trade. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that all the time. But yes, I would much rather have the best player coming out of the trade than more options. Let's see. After the Bengals bye week, do I stick with Matt Stafford or go back with Burrow? I think that's what Pi was referencing with Burrows and the tough schedule. Again, they're going to have to keep throwing it. I still trust Burrow.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit matchup dependent, but they've been throwing the ball a lot. He's looked good. Higgins is coming on a little bit. The T. Higgins for the Bengals.
Joe Burrow points this season 21, 40, 20 or 32, 24, 8, 23, 52, 28. I'm
they
fine.
have their bye coming up.
And they've played the tough Chargers week 1.
And then they have Pittsburgh. So by Pittsburgh, these next 2 weeks,
Baltimore,
those are tough.
Indy.
But
yeah, no, I'm still fine.
And they go to Washington and then the Giants and then Miami. So Miami's actually been, you can't look at them as just a soft matchup anymore. They've been actually pretty middle of the road. Dallas after that. So if you can get through the Pittsburgh
but they're
games,
going to be so happy to get out of Cincinnati and go to Miami that he'll play fine.
Joe's just smoking cigars. Cubans on the beach, yeah.
Washington has been good. They've been solid.
They've been okay.
But I think they're still washed. I'm not
They're washed.
I'm not scared.
Washington
scared of their
washes.
defense at this point. NBA rigged. Atlanta could, if Ridley and Julio both get ball out, so Gurley could have garbage time. I think Gurley is always a threat to score the touchdown, and even late in the game when they were down points, he was still involved in the offense. I'm not.
That's a good argument for Gurley is that because they have a high volume offense and they're going to need to put up points. If they can get him close and he can punch it in, I get it. I don't,
And this Uzi Vert, I saw your question before. Zeke for JT. Like, are you? If you're a Zeke owner, are you looking to trade for JT?
So if Jonathan Taylor had come out this week and had a decent game, I would have said, yeah, 100% all in. But this game was concerning. The amount of touches that those other running backs got on that team.
Yeah.
If you're a Jonathan Taylor owner, it gives me pause to try and go out and get him. It's like, what is going on? And why was this? It's like everything, if you were just trusting the process, it was all
right. But
all arrows were pointing Jonathan Taylor's way.
If you're making a judgment call right now, who'd you rather have for rest of the season?
Jonathan Taylor.
Because we don't know both of them have had subpar weeks the last couple.
I'll say Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to just hope that the rookie gets some steam, gets going, and he's got a better line. Their offense is better. The Cowboys now are in full meltdown mode. It's over. Their season's done. They have no real good reason to fire up Zeke and give him a ton of touches. Save him, keep him healthy. Let the other guy who's a decent running back as far as what they're trying to do.
I think I'm under the persuasion if you can trade Zeke to the JT owner and the JT owner believes he's getting a really good deal by getting Zeke on his team and is willing to offer another solid piece, I'm almost in agreement with you. I don't know that they end up the season super different in points.
Now is the time to buy Jonathan Taylor, though.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I said, I think rest of the season, I think we're splitting hairs. I think Zeke will be more consistent. I think JT will have some bigger weeks.
But sometimes with the rookies, it just takes one game to believe. Like J.K. Dobbins has been nothing this year, and all of a sudden, you're going to see a bunch of people being like, "Oh, Dobbins, he's going to get work, and he's going to get steam, and he's going to start being the guy."
So Gurley or Chase Edmonds.
Swift is another guy. You had to wait a little bit, and then he had a big game, and then now he goes back to nothing
to
again.
Being useless. Yeah.
But that's because he's got a bad coach. Patricia's just doesn't see talent, doesn't play talent.
Gurley or David Johnson. Come on now.
So David Johnson has actually not been as bad as I think you and I sometimes view him. He's been a usable running back.
Fine.
I don't know. I never like having the Texans running back.
It used to be okay when Adrian
Yeah,
Foster
no,
was
stick a
there.
fork in the Cowboys. They're definitely done. How about Zerline's ridiculous, like, kind of straight up kick where they were trying to get the, I think it was a free kick.
Yeah, the liner.
That was
sweet.
Didn't work out for him, but it was close, and it was Zerline with the.
Oh, that one. I thought you meant the one right before half that he hit about 8 feet off the ground.
No, I'm talking about the. So he's had the awesome spinning onside kick, and then they had a free kick where they snapped it out of the end zone at the end of the game and tried to do a goofy free kick to get the ball back. It's something you don't see often in the NFL, but again, if you're just somebody who enjoys football, it was a cool little series.
All right, so we've I think we've still missed a few here. NBA says or is usually first. So you guys are scaring me about Zeke. Yeah, no, he'll be fine. NBA rigged. Chicago will not blow people away. No, they're not.
But again, if David
Right,
Montgomery
right.
can go out there and get 20 carries a game and have the chance to be the touchdown, like I just think there are bigger games coming for him.
Someone traded Rodgers and Shark for Sun God.
Is that Devontae Adams?
Who's Sun God? Is that Devontae?
Champion of the sun.
And
Ah.
they think that there's some collusion in that trade. I think it's a bad trade, but I understand the thought process. If you're super quarterback needy, but again with streaming options, I think it's a bad trade.
So
no
not a
matter what.
super flex, huh?
It doesn't sound like it. Alrighty. I may have been traumatic. That's all right. Yeah, Curly or Chase Edmonds. Did you already cover that one?
For rest of season, there is a little bit of worry with Chase that maybe Kenyon comes back and he kind of gets the roll back and Chase gets relegated back to what he was. I think that Chase has looked the better running back from what I've seen this year. I'll go Gurley for whole season, but if I could just start one this week, I'm starting Chase over Gurley this week.
I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm just going to keep rolling Gurley out there and just saying thank you for the points. Bambo, I don't know because staff is playing good. Kenny G just got hurt, and also Burrow could underperform due to tough games. Yeah, I don't know. I still like Burrow. Sticking a fork in the Cowboys because they're done. Andy Dalton really said, "Nah, I'm out" last week. He's hurt. Leave him alone.
He got popped, man.
Leave him alone. Dubfire, good evening.
Speaking of guys that got popped, so we
Welcome
talked
in,
about
Dub.
Justin Jackson and Josh Kelly as the two guys as running backs on the Chargers. This week they actually got another guy involved. His last name was Pope. And Pope was in there. He was getting plays. He's actually looking okay. And he got jacked up.
He
and
almost
Pope
died,
is,
says NIU.
man, if you've seen, like, of all the hits this year, Pope, like, you saw it. I was
got
like, oh,
wrecked.
he's not coming back today. Like,
Oh man.
so, again, you hate to see a guy get injured, but it is fun to watch giant hits. So, yeah.
Dubberger, out of all the trade rumors, who do you think would make the most sense for Green Bay to try and trade for? Fuller, AJ Green, Cooks. It's crazy that they let Fulgham go like two other teams did too. Yeah, I would. I mean, I think Will Fuller still makes the most sense. He's the better of those
Will
options.
Fuller's a pretty decent move for them. But honestly, of all the names that are floating around, and I've heard that the team denied that they were trying to move him, I think that Adam Thielen would be the best move, like as far as making sense for both teams. It's tough because a lot of
Why not
times you
just
don't
bring
see
Jordy Nelson back?
Jordy might be able to be better than some of the guys that got out there, man. I bet Jordy could still catch.
Bambo, should I stash Debo and wait for his return on waivers?
Debo's good, but I don't know, man. He's had different injuries throughout the year. I don't know if I can wait on him.
I'd let somebody else worry about him.
You got an IR spot.
I'd let him go.
That's always any guy that's injured. If you can wait for their status to change, if it's not, IR eligible yet, and plug him in there. But I would hold him in an IR slot for sure if I have that opportunity. But I don't know that I'm holding on to him if I feel like there's other guys I'd rather play the week that he's out.
Pocket. What happened to Jonnu Smith? Guy fell off a cliff the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, Jonnu, he had an injury and was out for a little bit, and then he came back.
Ferkster had the really good game a couple weeks ago.
A.J. Brown came back off of his injury. He was out for the first half of the year when Jonnu had a little bit of traction, so I think that hurt him. The emergence of the guy we were just talking about, the other wide receiver on the Titans,
Corey Davis?
Corey Davis. This year's Devontae Parker. Yeah, I think that those are the things that are hurting him. Also, they've got a lot of weapons on that team. You don't think of them as like a high-powered, high-flying, like run-and-gun offense, but they do. They've got a lot of talented guys that can just get into the end zone.
Yeah, no. Not interested in Jonnu at this point either, or Debo. That was the other one. Dalton faked it. He didn't want to play. He got hit in the face.
Got popped pretty good.
Yeah. We'll let it slide. No pun intended.
Yeah. You just think it didn't look that bad because none of his offensive linemen cared enough to do anything or push anybody. So,
Ebron or Ingram to replace Kittle?
I like Ingram a lot better. I think Ebron, there's just in that pecking order, Ebron's probably like the fourth target on that team. I think Ingram could be as high as the second in some weeks.
I'm trying to find some other options and looking intently
Ingram's
at
a good choice,
waiver
man.
wire.
Ingram's good.
He's okay, but
There's gonna
he's
be
not.
there's gonna
not
be a
great.
blow up for Ingram. I've been waiting. It's
Again,
coming.
It's just the tight end landscape. It is what it is.
Wait for that 18-point game from Ingram. It's coming.
Dubfire. So I have Higbee. Should I get another tight end since I'm probably dropping Kittle?
Yeah, Higbee's not real good. He's been banged up. He had that one big blow up week. We had him on a team. We ended up dropping him.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't love
interested in
Higbee
anymore. No, I'd rather pivot to somewhere else.
Would you rather have Everett or Higbee right now?
Oh man, I'd rather have
Neither.
a whole lot
I
of other
get it.
people.
It's close though. It's not like
it's probably still Higbee, but yeah,
it's not like it's just obviously one or the other.
when Everett's out, Higbee's you got to
Better.
start him.
Better.
Yeah, if he's not, then I'm not interested. Yeah, it's bad.
But yeah, Ingram over Ebron 100%. Can we at least agree on that? Even if you don't like Ingram, he's better choice than Ebron?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let's see. David Johnson's numbers: 20 points, 7.5, 12.5, 11, 12, 14, 16. So
Honestly,
he's been Cole Beasley.
If you
He's
can
good.
get 12 to 20 in that range for running backs, that's not awful right now. If you can just have a guy that can consistently get you.
No,
you
but
know-
we were just flaming Zach Moss for the same thing.
Well, Zach Moss hasn't been quite as consistent.
I mean, it's not been bad. And I was flaming David Montgomery for being that.
Yeah, count. We just totally forgot that the Bucks versus Giants game on.
11, 4, 10, 20.
Yeah. Would you rather watch this game or would you rather watch us talk about football and yell at you for your 4-3 team? Come on.
'Cause this game's rough. I mean, we got Leonard Fournette, 4 carries for 18.
I don't know. The little skip was just built in there.
Ronald Jones, 5 for 18. So they have the same amount of yardage. And Mike Evans, 3 catches, 27 yards. Scotty Miller, 3 for 35. No catches for Gronk at all. That is bad.
Yeah. And people were thinking this might be a good game script for Gronk.
I know. I've been ready. Darius Slayton, 3 for 33. Sterling Shepard, 4 for 28.
I have a question about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who are
Ask
playing
away.
football right now.
Yeah.
Who does the loss of Goodwin help the most on that team as far as fantasy?
Godwin?
Godwin, I apologize.
I think it helps. It's got to be Evans.
Okay. That's probably what I would have leaned toward as well. But yeah, him going out, it's interesting because I think that it just does. It's a bunch of targets that have to go to somebody. I don't know that it's a guarantee that it's going.
What? All right.
What do we got?
Bambo, we completely forgot the Bucs game. Okay, you're that one. Marcio, can I drop Hunter Henry now or what? WTF, Jason? Jason was a typo. She just added in a complete extra name for no reason, I guess.
It's just your mind. It goes. It's like, I know what happened. She's like, Jason Witten. He's out there. He's still in the NFL. Jason, the tight end Witten. America's
I don't
tight
think
end.
That's it.
A real Gruden grinder.
He hasn't had one double-digit game. It's interesting. With Herbert, it's the same kind of thing. It's the Drew Brees Rivers situation where
it's hard to
they
throw
have
it.
one really good receiving option, and then the rest are
Hard to
just a
throw it to the
mirage.
tight end when you're throwing it 90 yards every play. It's hard for the tight end to run down
That's
there
also
fast
true.
enough.
That's also true. But it is kind of interesting. Rivers has always had Keenan Allen, and the second receiving option has always been a running back. And Mike Williams has never been super fantasy relevant. And
So we had a
Brady's been
comment
the
that
same
maybe
way.
Scotty Miller benefits the most just because he can kind of be relevant for a second.
Yeah, but
AJ Brown when he plays next week. So AJ Brown not in this game, correct? Yeah.
I think it
so-
helps Evans with yardage, and I think it helps Gronk with touchdowns. With Godwin out.
In Dynasty, I did go ahead and throw rookie Tampa Bay Buccaneer Tyler Johnson on my bench. I wanted to get a look at him, see if he gets any kind of plays in this game. So again, not somebody that you're picking up for redraft or looking at real hard, but just in Dynasty, he is had a pretty good pre-draft pedigree, and then he ended up falling in the draft. I want to say they had a 3rd or 4th round grade on him. Tampa Bay is what I heard, but then he fell down to the 6th. So just if you're a Dynasty player and you're like to hear those deep sleepers, I know when I watch the podcast, those are the names I'm looking for. So I could just stock the waivers.
I don't think we gave Marcio an answer. Are you dropping Hunter Henry?
No, probably not.
I'm probably not either. I'm probably just waiting it out a little bit longer. But I'm looking at other options. What's your other options?
Yeah, that's completely what the question is if you have a better option, I could see dropping him for a better choice. If Ingram's out there, I probably like Ingram better.
Font or Henry?
I see Font going if he's out there, but just a lot of these tight ends that are reliable aren't out there, and you're doing more like somebody went down. This guy could have a big week this week. It's a lot more kind of streaming.
Jordan Reed or Hunter Henry?
Jordan Reed. They're both like Hunter Henry, to his credit, hasn't been hurt this year yet.
So he had those 2 season-ending injuries, and then he's been fine since, really.
Yeah, just not as good at football. But Jordan Reed,
Burton
how
better
many
than Henry?
over under one more game that Jordan Reed starts before getting injured again? Like under. He doesn't even get through. He doesn't even make it to the start. Like
Antonio Brown will get all the balls when Godwin's out.
I'd rather have Henry than Burton.
Potentially. We'll see.
Henry's the only tight end on that team that can do anything. They haven't targeted him a lot, but there's going to be a week where Henry pulls in a touchdown, don't you think?
It's got to be. You just hope it's more.
Burton
than
is
just
one
week.
of 3 tight ends on that team. I don't know. Burton. I still got the Bears' bad taste from Burton in my mouth. So
yeah. Bambo. I'm 3-4 right now, but it looks like my team's is finally shaping up for this final stretch. I think I can honestly win my final 6 games. That's what it's all about. I mean, it's really just building a team for the playoffs. You just got to manage to get there.
Yeah, it feels good to be a champion.
Those are the teams that all the time. If you just got a guy who sticks with it, you keep playing, you put together some wins. If you make the playoffs, it's anybody's ball game. I've said before, I had a league with my family where my uncle won like every regular season game. I barely snuck into the playoffs, won the championship. I've also had leagues where I was dominating all year. Other way around. My team was like 12-win team. We're going in, and I lose in the second round of the playoffs because somebody else's team has a guy that blows up, or my guy gets injured.
We had Doug in our dynasty league.
There you go,
Just
Doug.
a trash team.
Doug had no business winning the championship.
No.
And
So
his guys just blew up at the right time. Other people got hurt at the right time, and everything went his way, and he won. So.
Yeah, the only way he won against a team that was tanking like 73-72 and ended up sneaking to the playoffs because of a technicality, and then ends up winning the whole thing. It was
60% of the
insane.
time it works.
Rojo back
Survive in advance.
Fournette did not look good in his opportunity. Yeah, Fournette didn't look great, but
hopefully
Rojo
Fournette's just as awful and never good again.
I see
in my
Fournette's back
dynasty.
in here, but
Maybe we're on a leg. Maybe they're playing.
bad, says Tom Rucker.
Oh, I made a mistake.
Oh man, this is why we can't have nice things.
Immediately regret this decision.
All right, let's go back to our waivers. Jordan Wilkins, interested? Yay, nay? I know we touched on it earlier.
I get it, but no, I think Jonathan Taylor's still the guy I want in that backfield.
Jordan Reed. We just talked about it. Interested at all?
No, not for me.
If you're the Kittle owner and it's that,
If you're desperate,
or Eric Ebron.
I get that Kittle's going to be out. Jordan Reed was good for that little bit that he filled in, and then he got hurt again. I don't know how much that is lingering. It wouldn't shock me if he gets hurt right away again. I get it, though. Like, you could take the chance.
NIU, Bruce had a heart-to-heart with Rojo at half, said, please don't fumble anymore. We'll see if it works. Let's see. Ross
I hope it
Dwelly,
works.
Eric
Like-
Ebron, not interested in these guys.
You should have just told him not to fumble before the game. Like
Zach Moss, how much are you spending on Zach Moss fab-wise?
$10.
10 of 100?
$10. 10%.
I'm spending more than that. I'm probably spending $18 on Zach Moss.
If you want to get him, you're probably going to have to spend
There's again
higher.
He's a lot
Hard to
better,
find running
a lot
backs.
better than Frank Gore. You know,
And again, the situation that he had that allowed him to be successful this game should be the same situation going forward. Like, there's not another guy pushing him for spots. It's not like another guy's injured is coming back. It's him and Devin Singletary, and they seem to want to use him in the red zone. If he can get some volume, if they cannot have Josh Allen take all the touchdowns, then I think there's room for Zach Moss to have fantasy relevance.
I wish it had ads on it.
Oh, they say that he's fool's gold.
Mozambique, yeah.
I think that the situation for Zach Moss is about as good as it's going to get for a healthy rookie running back right now.
Yeah, no, there's teams out there starting really bad running backs. In our league alone, I've seen some really bad plays, and what is he going to do?
You're just doing what you can do.
You got to fill the spot.
I'd rather have Zach Moss than P.
Eli,
Ryan
welcome
for
to the
the
Lark.
Jets.
Yeah, no, I think I'd probably rather him than Michael P. Ryan right now. What was up with the Wims yesterday? Yeah,
Wims can hold a grudge longer than you, Bam.
Punched him right in the
Like
face.
11 minutes, you're sitting there just like, I'm going to hit this guy in the mouth.
Right
I
in
think
the
you
mouth.
went for his mouthpiece, missed it, then panicked and punched him in the helmet.
Let's
What are
see.
you doing? Hold on, I got one for this.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb.
What are you spending on DJ Dallas or Gus Edwards?
So DJ Dallas, if Chris Carson comes back, he was a game time decision, decide not to go. You would expect that he probably comes back if he was close enough they were making the call on him. Here's the question. Do you think DJ Dallas, with his performance in this game, overtakes Carlos Hyde as the second running back on that team?
I don't think so.
Okay, so that's the big things. I think he might have done well enough that he could get that spot. He hasn't been great in pass protection, which would be the case for Carlos. Also, Penny, a name that's out there. Penny was, he's been on the team for a while, went out with an ACL injury. He should be eligible to return, I think, in week 10 or 11-ish. So I don't know if he's going to be coming off of the IR.
We're getting deep enough, though, that unless I need somebody to start this week, I don't think I'm buying into any of these guys. I'm not really spending up for DJ Dallas or Gus Edwards, I don't think. I'd spend up for Damian Harris, though. I'm not spending a ton of money, but I'd put in 10 to 15 on Harris.
Again, in half point or standard, I would go for Harris. If it was PPR, I'd probably go with Moss over Harris. And then DJ Dallas, I like DJ Dallas. I've been talking about him a lot. If you've watched this show, I don't know if you can trust it, but
let's see. Pocket says, you guys buying Hasty on the 49ers?
yes. So that's another thing. If Hasty is out there, he probably wasn't because the team probably rostered him going into this week, waiting to see what would happen. But Coleman goes out. Hasty wasn't great in that game. I think he had a fumble. But yeah, I think I'm keeping Hasty and I'm rolling him out, and I'm thinking that he's going to be the man next week. You got to monitor who's coming off IR, who's going on to IR, who's on. Their team is a revolving door of running backs that keep getting hurt. It's just, oh, now it's this guy, this guy, this guy.
Yeah,
if Mostert's back, he's worthless.
I'm at a minimum. I'm holding him for sure.
Yeah. How about the counterpart, McKinnon on that team?
I'm not interested in
If
McKinnon
you
at
watch
all.
McKinnon, his score line, he ended up with like 13 points, so that's all right. But he got a touchdown that was a short yardage touchdown. They let him get the goal line carry. He didn't look good. He wasn't out there a lot. He didn't look good, is what I'll say.
Dover says Tom Brady keep himself calm by thinking about Godwin and AB being back next week. Did you read AB is actually crashing at Brady's house as Marcio? I did see that. Apparently they're going over playbooks and
Hiding
and
from the
whatnot.
police.
Yeah, just trying not to get Antonio Brown banned again before he can get on the
just tell him,
field.
like, you're great, Antonio. Everybody
It's
loves
fine.
you. You're so smart.
Just stay here. It's safe here. Don't leave.
I don't know, man. Antonio needs somebody to
Pocket.
hold his hand.
He did that in New England last year. Yeah, when he first got there. Yeah, I know.
Well, the stuff that he got
He's
in
got a
trouble
babysitter.
for and kicked off of New England for were things that he had done before he got there.
That's true.
In Tom's defense,
In Tom's
Tom's a good
defense.
babysitter. Tom's got kids, man. You've seen him kissing.
Corey Davis. Where are you spending on Corey Davis?
Corey Davis, if he's out there, I think you can believe in Corey Davis. I've seen enough consistency. We read off his stat line earlier. He's good.
This is what Corey Davis likes to do, though. He likes to get you all
I
hyped
don't think
up.
Corey
and then
Davis has even gotten you hyped up in the past. I think he's just consistently not been good.
He has Devontae Parker qualities for sure.
If I need a wide receiver, and again, wide receivers are easier to come by. I still like the idea of saving that fab in case of those moments when you get a guy out there that can be a potential running back that you need. But if you need a wide receiver, I could see spending 20% of your budget for him.
Okay.
I believe in him now going forward for the rest of the year.
Yeah, no, I'm not as worried.
I'm ready to get hurt again.
They did lose a receiver in that game as well, though. Jared Cook.
Yeah, so talk about that actually. Just so that was Humphrey that went down.
Yeah, Chris Humphreys.
And I haven't seen if he's missing a significant amount of time or not, but if that also helps all those guys. It helps Jonnu, it helps Brown, it helps Corey Davis.
Yeah, he got hit pretty good. We'll have to keep an eye on it. I haven't heard any reports yet, but we'll definitely keep an eye on it. The last one I see, Jared Cook is mentioned here. He's only, let's see what his own percentage is in redraft.
So right you are.
Okay, so he's highly rostered. Disregard.
Yeah, but no, Antonio Brown, you have faith that he's going to be good. I don't think he's going to be good.
Why are they going to show everybody this Barkley injury again? Just rubbing it
Barkley.
in everybody's face.
Still, I think that team where I lost Barkley, I lost the first two games, and I believe I've won every game since. So don't panic when you lose a guy that you took with your first round pick. You too can come back and win.
Dub Rugger, Corey Davis looking legit. I definitely agree with you that it's the main reason Jonnu getting hurt in his value. At least 12 points in every game he's played. Yeah, no, he's been solid. Again, this is what the thing of Corey Davis is. He was supposed to be good. He just never has, and every time you think he's going to be good, he ends up disappointing you. I'd start him. I feel pretty good about it, but
I still think that's the incorrect narrative. I don't think he even got people hyped up enough. I think you picked him off of the expectations, off of his draft position, knowing that there was talent that was unrealized, and then he just never ended up being good. Like maybe have one good game, but he wouldn't have like 4 or 5 good games.
I can show you the details.
I'd be curious to see his previous stat.
No, this has happened a few times. This is his longest stretch of usefulness, though. I'll definitely give you that. Just read Drake is listed as day-to-day and that he may or may not suit up this weekend. Kingsbury has said the injury was not as severe as first thought.
So again,
I think they know.
I can learn. Lost the first 2 weeks when I did have Saquon available and on my team, and this will be 6 straight wins I railed off. So don't quit. Don't sell the team. Don't blow it up like Nick after game 2.
Give me your worry level on some people that I'm reading off.
1 to 10, you want it?
Yeah, give me a 1 to 10.
Okay. 10, full panic, 1, it's cool as a cucumber.
I'm starting on my team. CEH.
CEH, 8.
Devontae Parker.
Devontae Parker, his injury stuff, I haven't paid a lot of attention to Devontae. He's been a guy I didn't want all year, but I'll go 7.
Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell, I don't know that your expectation was ever high enough to like now feel full panic. I'll say 5.
Let's see.
I'm actually pretty still hoping that Lev can come through and have some games for my team and get some steam.
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore, I actually feel good about. I'm happy with how he's been trending. He's
2
picking
for
up some
55.
steam. 2 for 55 isn't great, but the last couple games he's starting to show you a little bit. I'll say 3.
Hollywood Brown. He had the same exact stat line as Devontae Parker. 1 catch for 3 yards and a touchdown.
8. I'm not a Hollywood Brown guy. I've never thought he was a reliable player.
Okay. Let's see. Mark Andrews.
What was Mark's stat line? Read that off.
3 for 32.
3 for 32. I think you still just stick with him. You keep rolling him out. I'll go 4.
Back-to-back weeks of 4 and 6.
You'd like more, but I think there's going to be brighter days. They had a tough matchup against Pittsburgh as well.
All right. Let's see. Justin Jefferson, 3 for 26.
6. It's just hard to trust him every week.
Amari Cooper, 1 for 5.
9. I'm very, very concerned as an Amari Cooper owner. The Cowboys, any wide receiver on the Cowboys, I'm throwing up the full panic mode. I'm
Amari
at
Cooper
9.
to the Green Bay Packers.
I like it for this year's team. I hate it for the Packers being better, but Amari Cooper, I think, would feast on the Packers. I think that he is a real talented wide receiver, and I think that Aaron Rodgers would be good enough to get him the ball.
This is Uzi Vert. You guys think when Lazard comes back, he can be a solid wide receiver 2 flex? I think that's a little high praise. But
wide receiver 3.
Yeah.
So let me go back to Amari, though. So he had Slayton, the shutdown corner for the Eagles. So there were a couple people that highlighted that before the matchup. I still ended up rolling him out. If he could go to the Packers and he would not draw that number 1 shutdown corner because they have Devontae Adams, I think Amari Cooper would be an absolute animal. If I could get him in Dynasty, if I could trade for him, I would trade for him all over if he went to the Packers.
Hollywood Brown is a bum, says Pocket. Will never
Hollywood
be on
Brown
any
is a
team.
bum, right?
Again, if he had a quarterback that gave him the
poor
ball,
man's Mecole Hardman.
Maybe we would see something else, but I don't know. Lazard, I just don't see him being. As long as Tanyan's there, I got to see his role in the offense. Make sure it's where it was before.
I think Tanya had one good game. He hasn't shown enough to believe that he's going to be taking a lot away from Lazard.
Adam Thielen, 3 for 27.
Ooh.
You blew it!
Not what you wanted out of the guy I just traded for. I needed those second wide receiver on the year numbers, not that kind of number.
Needed a little bit more than that.
But they did beat that was the Dalvin day. I get it. Everybody just got out of the way, let Dalvin work.
Let's see. Just based on some of these players people are starting, it is rough. James White, 2 for 35.
I'm about a 7 or 8 on James White. I could see he's getting into drop territory. The whole Patriots thing right now. I don't know that I want any Patriots players. James White has been good for me in the past, but if they make a quarterback change, and I see somebody who's starting to use him a little bit more, but Cam hasn't been a James White guy.
Vert says, I think Lazard showed great flashes this year. Only 3 games, but still a nice big target. Yeah, no, he was useful early on. And
I don't know if Heath's in here today, but Heath is our resident troll / Packer fan, and he was a big Lazard believer before the season. And when it was starting to happen, I was like, oh, Heath might have been right.
Pocket, and you guys, do you guys think any wide receivers from Denver are worth starting?
So Jerry Jeudy, talented rookie. I have dropped him all over the place. They got a lot of tough matchups coming off. That game was a goofy game where I just kept paying attention. Like, oh, the Broncos are going to lose. Broncos are going to lose. Chargers are going to get this big win. And it's like, holy cow, they ended up blowing it. I didn't even see it. Happened so fast. But yeah, so Denver, they didn't look good in that matchup offensively, but they put it together and got it going at the end. Maybe they can carry that momentum. So who are the other 2 guys on there? There's Patrick. Did he play this week or did he have a hamstring issue?
I wasn't paying attention.
So he's had some good games. Tim Patrick, the wide receiver for the Broncos, did he play?
I don't think he did, actually.
All right, so he was out. He's been pretty decent for a couple games.
And Hamilton coming down with
and Hamilton came down. Yeah. So if Patrick's back, it probably hurts Hamilton. Man, I think you could take your shot. They could have that, that upside chance any given week, but I'm probably avoiding all Denver receivers.
Son would have been the man this year. By the way, Bam told you JJ not going anywhere. JJ who?
JJ Watt.
Oh, yeah, no, JJ Watt's not
going.
I don't think he's not leaving. They even said he's not available.
He's a Texan for life, man.
There's still one day. I just don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, no, I was excited to see Sutton this year, and disappointed he got hurt. But
yeah, no, Sutton, I wonder. I haven't been a big Sutton believer, but it would have been interesting to see. It also would have been interesting to see what that would have done for Jeudy as a rookie, because I actually like Judy's prospects kind of like Ridley, where if you got that other guy to draw the heavy coverage, who can be the deep threat, and Jeudy can get more, just pick them apart plays. So I think I like Jeudy better next year with Sutton back.
DeAndre Swift, 1 rush yard, 3 receptions for 22 yards.
Oh, let's see. I was gonna put you gotta get Swifty. Here you go. But it should be, you got to get better, Swifty, because this isn't a very good stat line.
He just wouldn't do it.
I blame his coach. I blame his team. They're ruining Swift. He's shown flashes of brilliance. I think he's a talented running back. He was a lot of people's #1 ranked running back as far as the talent going into the NFL draft. And they're killing him. They're ruining him. Patricia's a bad coach. Lions are a bad team.
With the touchdown. Pocket at a first 3-yard touchdown reception.
Where are we going to spike? Spiking it.
That's a thing now.
Rock smash.
There goes the Rocket League ball. Oh man!
I need to get the full extension.
We thought about. I thought about putting the wager on Gronk to score a touchdown tonight. The odds were better earlier on. I think it was like plus 170 on a touchdown today, and I knew it was going to happen. And by the time I got back on, it was at
Tom to
140.
Oh wait a second! Ooh, I don't know if you watch this.
It's fine.
Did he hold? Let's see if this is under review yet.
Don't look at it.
Didn't look like a catch in real time.
Jarvis Landry, 4 for 52. Are you worried at all?
So Jarvis, honestly, I think the loss of OBJ helps Jarvis. I thought that there again, the Browns were bad in that game. I think there are going to be some games where Jarvis has like 8 or 9 receptions going forward.
Pocket's calling you out. Did you add the drop that you were planning on adding?
Oh, I got to remember what it even was.
I don't remember what it was.
I was in full Sunday football mode.
Can't remember what it was yesterday.
I remember, though. Marcy said that I needed to add it. I didn't add it yet. I got to go back. Is that in the Discord?
It's all a blur. If it is. It's all a blur. Marcio, where are you?
Yeah, Marcy, you got to remind me what I'll figure it out. I'm going to find it.
Cam Akers did get a little bit of work yesterday.
So that's
9 times for 35 yards.
If you're looking to the
Boats
waivers,
and hose, that's what it was.
Okay, boats and hose, and that was for
somebody has a memory. Cookie. Where are you guys sitting? Why are we sitting so close together?
Because we're best friends forever, man.
Yeah, we got to get it all in frame.
We got to get it in frame. That's true. So tell them Nick's got the basement going. They're redoing it. We're gonna have a new studio experience. We will be off for a bye week. One of these Sundays, we're going to not be there.
Week 10, we'll be out.
So week 10, we're going to be off. But then hopefully when we come back the next week, we'll have the new basement studio at least partially set up.
Yeah, should be good.
So then we can sit a little farther away from each other. It's so So we can high five when our joint team does great things.
Yeah, it's more
When
of an elbow thing. Yeah.
The COVID elbow.
We don't really
bump.
have to move that far. It's convenient.
Where are we? All right, let's talk about
I'm
football
not even
again.
sure.
I think we got lost.
CD Lamb.
Where's the lamb?
Where is the lamb? He just that team. The Nooch just couldn't do anything. He was sidearming weird passes. Oh, full panic for all Cowboys wide receivers and also Zeke.
Like you says, Corona only comes after you in Illinois if bars and restaurants after 9, or at bars and restaurants after 9. That seems to be the case. I don't know. What's your worry level on AJ Green? 2 for 19.
My worry level on AJ Green is a 10 at
so
all
high.
times. I never want to. If I had AJ Green on my team, I'd be very worried about him and just my general decisions about life.
Cookie. Newsay will be badass. You guys have a crispy night. Take care. You as well. Yeah, no, we're excited
cookie.
for it. It'll be nice to spread out a little, maybe get a new lighting situation going, but
Take it easy. Go
who
football.
knows? We'll see. All right, well, that's all I've got for tonight. Let's watch a little bit of football here, and anybody else got any questions?
Any last
more
second
start
thoughts?
sits or anything you'd like to talk to us about? Mike Evans at 47 yards. I need another 10 yards out of Mikey.
Oh, Cookie with the follow. Thank
We
you.
appreciate
Appreciate
that.
it. Anybody out there, don't be shy. If you'd like to hit that follow, join, become an addict.
And Cookie, I don't know if you were here for our stream yesterday, but that's our main deal. The noon games, we go through and give you that fancy football cover. So
Just a
come hang
group
out with
of
us.
degenerate gamblers watching all of our fortunes just dwindle away.
Oh man! And sometimes it pays off. Sometimes it doesn't. Pocket pool election predictions. I don't know if we want to do election predictions.
Oh, no politics on the All right, again, I've said it before. If you want to watch politics, go to the NFL channel. If you want social justice, go to ESPN.
I didn't see there was a report. Somebody
all football all day. We'll be all right, whoever wins.
Somebody across the pond put a $5 million bet on that Trump was going to win.
Well, maybe they know
that's
something we don't know.
That is a large wager. Call me Cookie. Cookie was my mother.
The Cookie Monster.
Oh, man. It's about to pay for the basement.
There you go. Yeah, whatever happens, I just hope that, America goes on, football goes on.
So I also have a bet on Gallman hitting the under on 37 yards, and he's at 34.
Ooh,
so
a lot of time left, though.
so
It's
you're
only the
saying
third
there's
quarter.
a chance. Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. We'll see you on the next one. Next week, noon, we'll do it again, and then we'll have the bye week afterwards.
Yep, that is the plan. Hope all your teams win.
Indeed. See you next time.
Job's done.
Thanks, Pocket. See ya.